can always come back to right now.
And good morning, everyone. Welcome into the Steakhouse Restaurant Saturday morning quarterback show, coming to you live from the Dave Venable Studios in downtown Hawkinsville. Bruce, Eddie, across the way, and over to the left, Chuck, and over on the board, Ken. I think he was playing the drums over there for a minute.
No, I was riding in on the horse.
Oh, what a beautiful Saturday morning, folks. Hey, we've been looking for months for this. This is the first edition of the Steakhouse Restaurant Saturday morning quarterback. Man, I'm running on borrowed time right now. I got to bed at 1:30, and of course, you know, open the football season, my nerves are always on edge, and I was up by 4:30. I was in the studio working a little after 5.
One less cup of coffee, Bruce.
I don't drink coffee. Maybe that's the problem. I didn't get any caffeine this morning.
That is a problem.
Oh, jeez.
We all got rust on us, Bruce.
You know, I got a coffee maker I can bring down here and we can set it up.
Holy cow! I want to smell that stinking stuff.
Oh, come on.
No,
Get started. It's habitual.
Glad you're with us. Want to thank our sponsor, of course, Lewis Fowler Steakhouse Restaurant in Hawkinsville. Folks, fastest 3 hours in radio. When it hits 12 o'clock, hop in your car, head on down to the steakhouse, sit down and get you a good meal. Now, a little disclaimer here. This isn't on Lewis. This is strictly on me. I'm making this comment. Mom, Dad, whoever you may be, go down to the steakhouse at 12 o'clock and get your belly full. Go home, get in your easy chair and say, hey, kids, the other special half over there, you're on your own the rest of the day. I'm going to enjoy the afternoon after a great meal at the steakhouse.
Well, you know, it's not going to be long before college football kicks off, and then you can do that.
Holy cow. Yeah, Slippery Rock will be kicking off soon.
Well, you know, Slippery Rock might do something this year, Bruce.
Oh, absolutely. Of course, again, I'd like to thank all of our sponsors for making this possible. Appreciate it, and look forward to a great year here in 2023.
Football Friday night was on last night.
Oh,
we
absolutely.
got to watch some football. We got a chance to go down to Portal, beautiful stadium, as a matter of fact, guys, and watch two teams face off, and that was happening all over the state.
To the phone line we go. On the line with us this morning, new Red Devil head coach, Coach Tim Suttles. Coach, welcome to the show. Not your first time on, just first time as Red Devil coach.
Yes, sir. I'm glad to be on this morning.
Coach, glad to have you with us. Listen, you know, when we went out on the field last night and played a Portal team that we played close last year, I kind of had ideas a little bit about what we're going to see. But I was looking, to be honest, I was looking at just, two horses. Wow, they've got several horses. Coach, you there? Coach.
Hey, you got me, Bruce?
Yeah, I got you. There you go.
Okay.
Coach, going into the game last night, I thought they had two special players. They've got several special players.
You know, I coached against Portal a couple years ago, Bruce. Actually, when I coached against Portal, it was Coach McKeechin over there, his very first game as a head coach there. And I can tell you that those guys that are playing for him now were their best players when they were in 10th grade, and 2 years in the weight room has done them wonders. I told our players after the game, I said, their two best players they were really good 2 years ago, but they don't even look like the same individuals. They've grown quite a bit, and you can tell they bought into that weight room and in the Coach McKeechin's program, which is, what high school football is all about. And he should be proud of what he's got going on there because he's really done a great job at Portal High School with their football program. They've had many consecutive down years, and right now they're proud of it right now, and they should be because they've got those guys playing ball.
Coach, I tell you, the score really is an indication of really how the game went. First quarter, back and forth, nothing. Second quarter, things kind of began to open up, but a couple instances made a big difference, I think, in the ball game. One was the 70-yard touchdown that got called back. That's one of those plays, if it happens and it gets put on the board, I think it changed the outlook of the kids and everything a little bit.
You know, you are correct in the fact that the score wasn't indicative of how tight a ball game it was for most of the game. I think the story on our part is making crucial mistakes in big situations, situations that, you know, really good football teams capitalize in those situations. And right now, it went the other way for us last night. You know, we were proud that in our first two scrimmage games, we weren't able to get a stop on the opponent's first possession. We were proud to get off the field on fourth down and actually had a really big play, probably one of our better defensive plays against that scrambling quarterback who decided to reverse field. And I think we ended up tackling him. It was on fourth down for about an 18-yard loss and took over. So I was extremely pleased with that. You know, then we moved the ball down the field. And weren't able to come away with points, and that was kind of the story of the game for us. Several different drives where, you know, we clipped along and we'd get a first down, and for example, on that first drive, we got it down in the red zone, and then took a 9-yard loss on a snap that probably should have been fielded by our quarterback. But you know, when you drive it 60 yards and don't have a negative play, and then you follow that up with a 9-yard loss, it's hard to overcome those type of mistakes. And like I said, good football teams, you know, with a lot of experience, tend to limit those mistakes, and that's definitely going to be our focus moving forward. Is I don't question whether our guys are playing hard for us. They certainly are. It's just maybe we got to do a better job at coaching and get our guys ready to compete in those tight emotional situations when good players got to step up and make plays.
Coach, I thought you had several players that stand out last night and played ball pretty well. I really thought that Malik Sims did a good job in keeping Jackson pretty much in check. I think we just lost Coach. We apologize for that. We're coming up on a break in a matter of seconds almost anyway. I hate that, you know, we lost him at the end, but Eddie, Malik really played a pretty good ball game.
He shut down a Division I prospect.
Yes,
last
he did.
Night. He did. He played good. There were several key plays, and I'm gonna be honest with you, the fans were on him, you know, toward the end when their player went out. But Malik played a great game. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Seeing what I see, I'm really impressed with the way the Red Devils are playing. And Coach owned it. He said, you know, it's a matter of we can make plays, but we got to learn how to keep our emotions in check. And that's what I saw. You know, we moved the ball, and it wasn't just this weekend. The weekend before we moved the ball. We can move the ball. We can stop people. We got talent on the field. It's just a matter of they got to learn how to play. What is it? Finish the drill, Chuck. I mean, it's you know, they got to finish the drill. They got to finish. They got to get to the point to where they play a complete game and cut out the mistakes.
Yeah, really, the test is going to be going forward. What they're going to do starting this week, are they going to learn from what they saw against Portal? And I'll tell you, you're talking about Amir Jackson. He's not just a Division I athlete; he's an SEC athlete.
Yes.
And I thought he was good last year, and I know what Coach is saying. He looked a little wiry last year, but buddy, I tell you what, I got down on the field last night. He's a big boy. He's a big kid, and he's got some moves. He's got it all. And we did Malik Sims, like you said, Bruce. He did an amazing job of. I think I had one big play, and that was on that 4th and 3, that little slant pattern with the backup quarterback. That nobody expected him to run that.
No.
And I don't know what their defensive call was. I don't know if they were in a zone or what, but somebody should have kept that slant pattern taken away from him, but we didn't. missed that. But other than that, he didn't really have a big night.
No.
I got to point out, too, Brown continues to impress me at quarterback.
Yes. We're going to take our first break. You listen to Steakhouse Restaurant Saturday Morning Quarterback Show right here on the River. Stay tuned.
You're listening to The
For
River.
over 50 years, the Steakhouse Restaurant has been a tradition in Hawkinsville, just like the great tradition of the Hawkinsville Red Devils and their 6 state championships in football. Lewis Fowler and the staff at the Steakhouse Restaurant invite you to stop by for the daily lunch buffet and the special Thursday night buffet, and don't forget the $8.99 daily specials. Go by and see Lewis Fowler and the staff at the Steakhouse Restaurant on the Highway 341 bypass on top of the hill in Hawkinsville. Go Red Devils!
When moving to a new community, what are some things you look for? Clean neighborhoods, hospital, cost of living, a good grocery store, or is it education? In Hawkinsville, we feel as though we have some of it all, especially education. Along with the education factors, how about some of the other things that make a student well-rounded? Things like one-act plays, drama, baseball, softball, or football. At Hawkinsville High School, it's about the total package. There's nothing like a Friday night at Bobby Gentry Stadium with a big red marching machine playing the Washington and Lee Swing. Go Red Devils!
I walk the mean streets of Atlanta in a police uniform. That gives me an important perspective most lawyers can't give you. If you find yourself in a tough situation leading to an arrest, remember, your best bet for a good defense is to remain completely respectful but quiet. I can't stress that enough. And call me as soon as you possibly can. I'm David Venable. Call me.
The big city lawyer with small town charm. David Venable, attorney at law. Broad Street, Hawkinsville. Call 478-783-2825.
For over 50 years, the Steakhouse Restaurant has been a tradition in Hawkinsville, just like the great tradition of the Hawkinsville Red Devils and their 6 state championships in football. Lewis Fowler and the staff at the Steakhouse Restaurant invite you to stop by for the daily lunch buffet and the special Thursday night buffet, and don't forget the $8.99 daily specials. Go by and see Lewis Fowler and the staff at the Steakhouse Restaurant on the Highway 341 bypass on top of the hill in Hawkinsville. Go Red Devils!
Mean streets of Atlanta in a police uniform. That gives me an important perspective most lawyers can't give you. If you find yourself in a tough situation leading to an arrest, remember, your best bet for a good defense is to remain completely respectful but quiet. I can't stress that enough. And call me as soon as you possibly can. I'm David Venable. Call me.
The big city lawyer with small town charm. David Venable, attorney at law. Broad Street, Hawkinsville. Call 478-783-2825.
For over 50 years, the Steakhouse Restaurant has been a tradition in Hawkinsville, just like the great tradition of the Hawkinsville Red Devils and their 6 state championships in football. Lewis Fowler and the staff at the Steakhouse Restaurant invite you to stop by for the daily lunch buffet and the special Thursday night buffet, and don't forget the $8.99 daily specials. Go by and see Lewis Fowler and the staff at the Steakhouse Restaurant on the Highway 341 bypass on top of the hill in Hawkinsville. Go Red Devils!
There is one place for great custom cut meats like fresh beef, pork, chicken, and more. It's Harris Country Meats. They also have a full line deli with smoked brisket, barbecue, salad, sandwiches, plus much, much more. They also offer a great line of fresh and frozen vegetables. Harris Country Meats and Grocery, family owned and operated since 1943. You can call them at 478-783-3276, or you can see them at 66 Cochran Highway. Harris Country Meats and Groceries, proud supporters of all Red Devil athletics.
Okay, welcome back in the Steakhouse Restaurant Quarterback Show. Come to you live from the Dave Venable Studios in Hawkinsville here on the XL Sports Network.
Bruce will ride in on the horse.
This is Chuck Bruce.
Absolutely.
Saturday Morning Quarterback in yours.
Yes, sir.
All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
There we go.
Good morning, Coach McEachin. Glad to have you with us this morning. I tell you, your kids played very well last night. I tell you, Coleman, I made a comment on air, I guess it was about 2 or 3 seasons ago, went over to watch Dublin play Brooks later in the playoffs, and what a heck of an athlete they had at quarterback, and Coleman reminded me of him a lot.
Yeah, Elijah is obviously extremely gifted athletically, but now as a senior, he's
he's giving play suggestions on the field. He's trying to make sure everybody's lined up, coaching the other players on the field. I mean, it's so nice, as a high school football coach, to have a kid that can do what he can do and can process the game at the same time. I mean, he's just a stud. I love the kid.
Coach, your team played well last night, and I tell you, I was one of those guys that was guilty of going in. I remembered 2 and I remembered 15, but gosh, some of the other kids really played outstanding. Coach, you there? Coach, you there?
Yeah, I got you now.
Okay, all right. I'm not sure what happened. It faded for a second. I know we're having a little bit of issues with cell phones. I was trying to talk to a coach a while ago, and mine kept fading out and even dropping. Verizon in this area is not real good this morning.
Okay.
But anyway, Coach, I thought your team played well. It was a close game going into the second quarter, and then y'all picked up the first touchdown just getting into the second quarter, and then things began to come every about 3 or 4 minutes.
Yes, sir. I mean, we expected Hawkinsville to play us really tight. I mean, I thought it would be a tight game going into the fourth quarter. And it was, like I said, it was 0-0 at the end of one, and then we were able to get a score and a turnover and another score and kind of added a couple. But, just had some guys making plays. We were counting on to make some plays. And, I'll give a little shout-out to Brian McQueen. He's our backup quarterback, but he was not expected to play quarterback at all last night. But Elijah's helmet comes off, and McQueen steps in there and throws a touchdown pass to Amir Jackson.
And I think that was a huge play. I was looking for some type of run. I honestly was not one that was looking for the pass. I would have got fooled out there on that field.
Well, we had said we're going to try to get them to jump, and if they don't jump, we're throwing the ball to our best player. That's the plan. This is the play. This is how we're going to do it. And Hawkinsville was disciplined enough not to jump off sides, and we took our shot. We don't have our field goal kicking game is not good enough yet in that position to try a field goal, so we were going to throw it in the end zone probably at that point, or hopefully up for a Hawkinsville false start.
Coach, next week, Twiggs County, and of course they've had coaching changes just about yearly. You have any kind of information on them at this point?
None whatsoever. Like you said, I know they hired a new head coach a few weeks ago, but just like last year, they didn't scrimmage anybody and they didn't play any games this week. So we have no film and nothing to work off of. But it'll be a week where we really focus on, getting better at what we're trying to do long term.
Well, Coach, it's always a pleasure talking to you. Good luck to you guys down the line, and we hope to get you on again very soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Anytime.
Good luck, y'all. Bye-bye.
Coach Jason McEachin of Portal. Next week, Twiggs County.
And I will predict this right now. They will make the playoffs. And once they make the playoffs, there's no telling how far they're going to go.
They do
They're
have
loaded.
a lot of guys. I
mean, that team is – we played them last year, and it's not the same team we played last year. They have matured.
Yes.
There are a lot of seniors and juniors on that team. And they're playing. I mean, he's got a field general that reminded me of Todd Coley. If you're a Hawkinsville person, you've been a fan of Hawkinsville Red Devils for years, you know who Todd Coley was. One of the best quarterbacks to ever stand on the football field in high school football.
To the line we go. On the line with us now, Westfield head coach, Coach Chad Campbell. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. Hey, how are y'all doing this morning?
Doing good, Coach. I'm trying to still get used to the green on you. I got to be honest with you, it looks pretty good.
Hey, Lou. Hey, I'm not Bruce. I'm not hearing you too good. It's going in and out.
Okay. Can you hear me now, Coach? Coach, can you hear me now?
Oh yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, Coach. I'm still trying to get used to that the green on you. It looks pretty good, though. I tell you.
I'm getting used to it. After 30 years in black and gold, it's starting to look a little green's starting to look a little bit better.
Well, Coach, tell us a little bit about your team and a little bit about the game last night.
Well, I'll first say, I mean, the crowd was amazing. I mean, of course, I've never like I told them last night, I've never been to a ball game over there and didn't know what to expect. But I tell you what, they showed up and showed out last night, and it made me feel very, very welcome, and couldn't ask for a better crowd and better support last night. Our team, we've got a young football team. We've got 5 seniors. From the start of spring practice until now, we have made tons and tons and tons of improvement, and the kids have bought in what we're teaching and what we're doing, and the kids have been just outstanding. So I couldn't ask for a better 8 months starting off here, and just looking forward to the rest of the season. I think we continue to get better. We got a chance to be pretty good little football team.
Coach, tell us a little bit about your coaching staff. I think some of us may know a few of you guys.
Yeah, y'all probably know all of them just about, except for maybe one. I mean, of course, Lee's on staff, and then Cam Black, Stacey Harden, Mark Ledford, and then we got a guy named James Twilley who's not around from this area. Originally from Alabama. Coaches some good programs over there, and then he's been at Brookwood and Thomasville for the last 10 years. So he joined in April. So we've got a good staff together. I mean, a lot of knowledge, a lot of pedigree, and guys just know how to teach young kids.
Coach, coming up next, you're on the road at Stratford. Any information on those guys yet?
No, I hadn't seen them this year. I mean, they didn't play last night, and hadn't swapped film with them or anything from their scrimmage. So, like I said, I don't know much about them. I've seen some stuff on them last year. So, they'll be a Stratford team is where, well coached and do things the right way. So, it'll be a tough task for us. But looking forward to this week in preparation and looking for another challenge this week.
Coach, one final question. Coming out of the summer practices and the preseason workouts, sometimes kids get a little bit tired and a little banged up. How are y'all health-wise?
I mean, we're pretty good. We had some guys cramp up last night. I mean, it was very humid last night. And we got some kids that, play both ways, not primarily every snap of, but, our center went down last night, but he came right back in. So, I'm waiting to hear back from the trainer on him. But other than that, we're healthy. I mean, we've been banging the crap out of them, I'll be honest with you. And so far, we hadn't had any injuries or anything like that. So hopefully we can, stay healthy, because I think if we stay healthy, we'll have a chance to be pretty decent this year.
Coach Chad Campbell, head coach of Westfield winners last night over Deerfield Windsor 27-23. Coach, always a pleasure to talk to you. Have a great weekend, and we look forward to getting with you again very soon.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, Bruce.
Anytime, Coach. Any all-star coaching staff with multiple championships.
Yeah, I mean, the coaching staff is loaded over there. And I'm going to be honest with you, Bruce. When we're on the road, Kathy records Friday Night Football. We watched the segment that they were on there, Westfield.
Yes.
They play physical. That's the one thing that I will say. They play physical football this year.
We're going to take a break. You'll listen to the Steakhouse Restaurant Saturday Morning Quarterback Show right here on the XL Sports Network.
You're listening to
For
The
over
River.
50 years, the steakhouse restaurant has been a tradition in Hawkinsville, just like the great tradition of the Hawkinsville Red Devils and their 6 state championships in football. Lewis Fowler and the staff at the steakhouse restaurant invite you to stop by for the daily lunch buffet and the special Thursday night buffet. And don't forget the $8.99 daily specials. Go by and see Lewis Fowler and the staff at the steakhouse restaurant on the Highway 341 bypass on top of the hill in Hawkinsville. Go Red Devils!
When moving to a new community, what are some things you look for? Clean neighborhoods, hospital, cost of living, a good grocery store, or is it education? In Hawkinsville, we feel as though we have some of it all, especially education. Along with the education factors, how about some of the other things that make a student well-rounded? Things like one-act plays, drama, baseball, softball, or football. At Hawkinsville High School, it's about the total package. There's nothing like a Friday night at Bobby Gentry Stadium with a big red marching machine playing the Washington and Lee swing. Go Red Devils!
Can you hear me?
I walk the mean streets of Atlanta in a police uniform. That gives me an important perspective most lawyers can't give you. If you find yourself in a tough situation leading to an arrest, remember, your best bet for a good defense is to remain completely respectful but quiet. I can't stress that enough. And call me as soon as you possibly can. I'm David Venable. Call me.
The big city lawyer with small town charm. David Venable, attorney at law. Broad Street, Hawkinsville. Call 478-783-2825.
For all your tax needs and IRS e-file in Middle Georgia, it's Lester's Income Tax Service at 99 Commerce Street, Hawkinsville. Call 478-783-1650. Best of luck, Red Devils. The answer to your insurance needs is simple. The Grimsley Agency. No matter your needs, life, auto, or home, it's the Grimsley Agency. You can trust Danny Grimsley and his staff with great coverage for your whole family. New car or home, the answer is the same. The Grimsley Agency. Give them a call at 783-2581 or see them at 203 Commerce Street, Hawkinsville. Proud supporters of all Red Devil athletics.
There is one place for great custom cut meats like fresh beef, pork, chicken, and more. It's Harris Country Meats. They also have a full line deli with smoked brisket, barbecue, salad, sandwiches, plus much, much more. They also offer a great line of fresh and frozen vegetables. Harris Country Meats and Grocery, family owned and operated since 1943. You can call them at 478-783-3276, or you can see them at 66 Cochran Highway. Harris Country Meats and Groceries, proud supporters of all Red Devil athletics.
Welcome back into the Steakhouse Restaurant Saturday morning quarterback show. Back to the phone lines we go. On the line with us now, Von Lassiter, head coach of the Blakely County Royals, winners over Dodge County in overtime 10-7. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Coach, what a wild, crazy game. Had to take it to overtime and get the win, but I tell you, it had to be exciting. That game always draws a lot.
Yeah, it was a really exciting game. It's just thankful that our kids played extremely hard, and it was a big-time environment for them. A rivalry game like that goes down to the end was exciting. The crowd was loud. Both sides was pretty much packed, and it was a fun game to play in.
Coach, tell us a little bit how it unfolded, and then we want to kind of get a little in-depth information about your team you have this year.
Yeah, it was one of those games kind of went back and forth down, as far as the offense is driving deep, but then nobody could score. They held the ball the whole first half. We ran 6 offensive plays the first half. They were up 7-0 at the half. We came out, took the first drive. I think it was a little over 10 plays and scored and tied it up. And then it just kind of went back and forth that nobody would let each other score. And, just held on to the end, was able to get to overtime, get an interception in overtime, and then, kick it to win it.
Coach, kind of give us a little information about your team this year. Of course, we got to see you guys a couple weeks ago in a scrimmage. But tell us a little bit about how the makeup of your team and what you expect your strengths to be throughout the year.
Yeah, we're real young. We're real young in some
spots. In a lot of spots, we graduated 20 seniors last year. And a lot of these guys played spottingly last year or didn't play at all. So we're kind of just still trying to find our way. You know, we've got a young quarterback. He's a junior now, but he hasn't played on Fridays much. And, you know, he's kind of working his way through some things. He's got a lot of talent. Got a freshman starting at right tackle up front. A lot of sophomores and juniors played in other spots, too. Just a youthful team, but really good kids and a lot of fun to coach.
Coach, tell us a little bit about the makeup of your coaching staff. I know you've had at least one change on it. Tell us a little bit about your coaching staff.
Yeah, we were fortunate enough to get Derek Farrah back, who Derek played here for us several years ago, and we were able to get him back as our defensive coordinator. And then we added Kevin Kinsler, who we coached together a long time ago at Northside. He's retired now, but he came on to help us coach D-line. And hired his son, Colby, from Dodge to do receivers. And then Noah Davis, who we hired from Rutland to coach offensive line. We've got a good mixture of guys with experience, some young guys to help with some great ideas they have, too. And we have a lot of fun together, good group of men.
Coach, that's one thing about having good staff members that, you know, along the way, some of them will move on. And of course, that's a testament to you and your program.
Yeah, we're really thankful that our board here gives us a chance to hire good people. And, I hope that we can continue to do that, hire good men and keep them around. And I think it's obviously good for our football team, but, it's good for our school. We've got really, really good men leading our school, and I'm thankful we're able to do that.
Coach, tell us about your region this year. We've had so many changes over the last 2 or 3 years. Give us your take on that region and how it sets up and what you think it's going to look like as you get deep into the season.
Yeah, it's a tough region. We've got a couple of teams with a lot of people back. We're not one of them, but, Dublin's got a lot of return starters back. Swainsboro's got pretty much everybody back in the skill position. East Lawrence is going to be better. They, get better every single year. Jefferson County was down last year, but I expect them to be up, a little bit better this year. So, it's going to be a dogfight every week, and every game's important because it matters at the end as far as where you fall, and I think there's a lot of moving parts in our region. One team stays healthy and one doesn't. It can mean everything, and I just think we're all just trying to find a way to get better every single week,
Coach, one of the biggest surprises to me of the night last night, East Lawrence picked up a win over Washington Wilkes.
Yeah, Coach Turner's done a great job over there getting those guys stronger, and he's got some guys in the skill positions now that are pretty good. Guys that can run and they're strong, and they're coaching them up over there. They've got new facilities. They've got a lot of things going on over there that's good. And I knew that if they could just hold on, they would continue to get better every year, and they have.
Coach, Von Laster, the Blakely County Royals winners last night over arch rival Dodge County 10-7 in overtime. Coach, listen, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. Have a good weekend, and we hope to get you on again in a couple 3 weeks.
I appreciate you having me.
Anytime, Coach. Have a great weekend. Chuck, you got some scores in front of you that let you and Eddie kind of bounce a few of those back and forth because there were some very interesting games. Before y'all get into that, I got to say this. Congratulations to Coach Ed Dudley. Big win last night. His first game as Lesser Trinity head coach, 17-7 win over Calhoun. His 215th win of his career.
Wow, yeah, that's pretty big. A lot of big games last night, and like you said before, man, this is first week of the season. We're just waiting all year, all summer for this. We'll start off with the GPD scoreboard. I think it was on Thursday night. Parkview Panthers 43-24 win over Kell. North Atlanta Warriors over Johns Creek 58-14. and Archer over North Forsyth 35-16. Ed, you got some more scores to run down over there?
It's all over the place here. Parkview over Kell 43-24. You got Archer over North Forsyth 35-16. Excuse me there. McEachern and Brookwood were supposed to play last night. We're not seeing a score on them. I don't know if they played or didn't, or I think they might be playing tonight. There are some games on tap for Saturday that we had the same issue that we had. I had a weird man sticking his hand in my face. No, we're still working through some bugs here in the studio. We're trying to get everything right. But what I was going to say is we still got the same issue we've had the last few years. Not enough officials, so you're seeing games played on Thursday, you're seeing games played on Friday, and you're seeing some games played on Saturday, and it's because of nothing more than just not enough officials.
Well, there's also all these new schools being built, and they're sharing stadiums too. That's another reason.
Yeah, I mean it's all over the place. It's not like it used to be. It used to be Friday night lights. We might have Thursday night lights now.
Yeah, and Saturday afternoon lights.
Yeah. At least they're getting to play. I mean, we can remember back a few years where games were being canceled, seasons were being canceled. So, I mean, I'm just tickled to death.
Absolutely.
Valdosta last night lost 28-17 to Massilia and Washington out of Ohio. The game that stood out to me, Bruce, I'm going to be honest with you, was the game that Dublin played in. It's been a long time since you just got to watch film of those guys. They got a lineman plays both ways. He's got to be 6'6", 280, and he runs like he runs a 4.5 40.
Hey, right quick before we go to a commercial break, Camden County avenged their loss last year against the Columbia Eagles 23-12. Congratulations to Camden County.
We're going to take a break. You listen to the Steakhouse Restaurant Saturday Morning Quarterback Show right here on the XL Sports Network.
You're listening to
For
The
over
River.
50 years, the Steakhouse Restaurant has been a tradition in Hawkinsville, just like the great tradition of the Hawkinsville Red Devils and their 6 state championships in football. Lewis Fowler and the staff at the Steakhouse Restaurant invite you to stop by for the daily lunch buffet and the special Thursday night buffet. And don't forget the $8.99 daily specials. Go by and see Lewis Fowler and the staff at the Steakhouse Restaurant on the Highway 341 bypass on top of the hill in Hawkinsville. Go Red Devils!
When moving to a new community, what are some things you look for? Clean neighborhoods, hospital, cost of living, a good grocery store, or is it education? In Hawkinsville, we feel as though we have some of it all, especially education. Along with the education factors, how about some of the other things that make a student well-rounded? Things like one-act plays, drama, baseball, softball, or football. At Hawkinsville High School, it's about the total package. There's nothing like a Friday night at Bobby Gentry Stadium with a big red marching machine playing the Washington and Lee Swing. Go Red Devils!
I walk the mean streets of Atlanta in a police uniform. That gives me an important perspective most lawyers can't give you. If you find yourself in a tough situation leading to an arrest, remember, your best bet for a good defense is to remain completely respectful but quiet. I can't stress that enough. And call me as soon as you possibly can. I'm David Venable. Call me.
The big city lawyer with small town charm. David Venable, attorney at law. Broad Street, Hawkinsville. Call 478-783-2825.
For all your tax needs and IRS e-file in Middle Georgia, it's Lester's Income Tax Service at 99 Commerce Street, Hawkinsville. Call 478-783-1650. Best of luck, Red Devils. The answer to your insurance needs is simple. The Grimsley Agency. No matter your needs, life, auto, or home, it's the Grimsley Agency. You can trust Danny Grimsley and his staff with great coverage for your whole family. New car or home, the answer is the same. The Grimsley Agency. Give them a call at 783-2581 or see them at 203 Commerce Street, Hawkinsville. Proud supporters of all Red Devil athletics.
There is one place for great custom-cut meats like fresh beef, pork, chicken, and more. It's Harris Country Meats. They also have a full-line deli with smoked brisket, barbecue, salad, sandwiches, plus much, much more. They also offer a great line of fresh and frozen vegetables. Harris Country Meats and Grocery, Family owned and operated since 1943. You can call them at 478-783-3276, or you can see them at 66 Cochran Highway. Harris Country Meats and Groceries, proud supporters of all Red Devil athletics.
Welcome back into Saturday Morning Quarterback Show. Fastest 3 hours in sports. Got Bruce over there looking at his phone. He's tying up Chuck, and it's just going. It's going right. I tell you, guys, it's the scores last night. The play last night around the region was really. We saw scores. We saw things that. Some of them we didn't get surprised, like Dublin. They played like they did. The game between Dodge and Blakely was a good game as far as fan participation and everything. They said it was like a playoff game. It's Friday Night Football, guys, and it's back. I'm gonna go back in. I'm gonna do some scores again.
We got Coach Smith on the radio with us now.
Coach Smith, welcome to Saturday Morning Quarterback Show.
Good morning. Thank you.
Coach, we were just talking about the Dodge County Blakely game last night, and atmosphere-wise, was it what you expected?
Yeah, I mean, Dodge has always got tremendous support, tremendous fans, and it was definitely had that energy, and our players fed off of that some last night, but was really pleased with our fans and everybody that showed up to support them.
Well, Coach, when you put Dodge and Blakely on, that's a rivalry game. You never know what's going to happen. You throw out records. You know that game's going to be played, and it's going to be it's just a history of it. Bruce and I were talking last night. We were following it. We were doing the Red Devils and Portal, but we were following that game because of the history of, when you think about the playoffs forever until the regions changed, it was always Dodge, Blakely, Dublin, and Washington County. And although it was a low-scoring game and a field goal, not to take anything away from Blakely County, but it kind of lived up to the hype. I mean, you never see a high-scoring game between you guys, and it just tell us a little bit about it from your perspective. I think I saw some on Friday Night Football, but you get snippets. But I mean, players played to the end. I mean, it's one of those games that's bad. Somebody's got to come out on the low side, but you got to hang your head on that. Although it was a loss, that was one hell of a game.
Yeah, I couldn't be more proud of our guys' effort. We got a long way to go in executing on some stuff, but effort-wise, our guys flew around. Defensively, we didn't give up a first down the first half. They had one good drive the second half that scored for them, but defensively, I thought our guys played really, really well. Jabari Graham played every play of offense, defense, and special teams last night. He caught our touchdown pass, and he had a really good game for us. Ralph Howard, our linebacker, had 8 or 9 tackles, tackle for loss, blocked the first field goal attempt, and was inches away from blocking the one in overtime. Zy Williams, his first game at quarterback, played really, really well. He cramped up late and wasn't able to come back in. I mean, he was trying. He'd come back, play a couple of plays at safety, and then it would cramp up again. But just super proud of our guys' effort and fight. Now, again, we got a lot of work to do execution-wise, but O-line, we're starting all first-year starters, and they've progressed a lot from spring up till now. I thought they competed really well last night, but just excited about what our potential is, but we just got to keep working and keep building.
Well, you know, Coach, we're really into the first part of the season. There's really 2 seasons. We call it preseason, non-region play, and then you hit region play. So, you know, I was impressed with what I saw. Real quick, 30 seconds, West Lawrence, what have you heard about them?
Honestly, we just got up to the school today to start working on them this morning. I hadn't about to turn on the tape now, so we hadn't really seen them. I know that they've got a really good staff over there, and they've got a lot of numbers. We're going to have to keep building some depth and being able to work some guys into play. But just we've got to turn the page and put all our focus on them now.
Well, Coach, good luck the rest of the season. We look forward to getting you back on with us. Heads up, I mean that you got a great team over there, and it shows. Just good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll look forward to getting you back on there.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Bruce, you know, Dodge County, I know they're taking it hard right now, but that was one gutsy game last night that we had. You know, we listened to that one while we were watching our game and doing our job with our game. We followed Dodge County and Blakely last night because you had people texting you scores and stuff and what was happening all night long. That was a good game.
Yeah, I've got the Grafton guys over there that no matter where we're at and what we're doing, they keep us up to date. For years, you know, Matt was before you came along. Matt went to it with me at a lot of ball games and stuff, and they're real good about trying to keep us up to date. I always get a message early in the night from Stephen or Matt, and they always funnel us scores. It's great to have them.
Yeah, I mean, it's great, but we. I think we got another coach on the line.
Yeah, we go back to the phone line. On the line with us now, Coach Brody Husky, Monsignor Donovan. Good morning, Coach, and welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Coach, glad to have you with us. Man, we love these new guys coming on and adding to our family. And, Coach, you know, today what we want to do is learn about you and what you do. Tell us a little bit about your background, you know, where you grew up, where you played high school ball, and then it's kind of progressed to college. And then, you know, what brought you to Monsignor Donovan?
All right. Well, so I grew up in a town a little north of Georgia. It's Knoxville, Tennessee. So it might be a little sore subject from time to time, depending on the season. But yeah, I grew up there. I went to Powell High School, played ball there all 4 years. I played a couple other sports as well. Went to Berry College down in Rome, Georgia. That's what initially got me down to Georgia. Played football there on their inaugural team then in 2013. Went down to Columbus to finish up my master's degree. After that, and then I started working at a school over in Opelika, Alabama, called the Oaks. I was there for a while as an AD, a football coach, and a track coach. Moved out to Memphis for my wife's job for a bit, and then this job opened up over here, and it's a lot closer to both my and her family. So with a couple of little kids, we thought this would just be absolutely perfect, and yeah, so that's how we ended up over here.
Coach, of course, Monsignor Donovan, for folks that don't know, is a very small school, and, you know, COVID hit them very hard, and the last 2 or 3 years haven't been kind to the school and to the program. Tell us kind of what you found when you got there, and as far as number of players and, you know, what kind of stuff are you trying to get put in place to make this program grow?
Right. So, yes, they didn't have a football program the last couple of years. So I got here. We're trying to build it back up. This first year, we're going to be playing 8-man football with GIAA, and we're excited about it. We've got about 11 to 12, depending on just a couple of maybes that I'm working on right now. But again, we're playing 8-man football, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Just building up the excitement, trying to have a new sports team back, and you know how you got to start somewhere. So we've got the excitement coming. We're trying to do some fun scenes and everything for our home games, and just get the excitement back, and hopefully keep on adding as we go.
Coach, how about staff-wise? How many do you have on your staff, and a little bit about their background?
Right. So right now, it's myself, a young man named Kevin Wood. He's a master's student over here at UGA. He's extremely knowledgeable. He's working mostly with the offense, and he's going to be my offensive coordinator. I'm going to be running the defense, and I have a parent that is helping me out, just kind of auxiliary as we need it happen.
And of course, Coach, in small schools, it's every man on deck, and you take help wherever you can get it.
Absolutely.
Coach, as you look at your season, what kind of expectation have you set for yourself and your team?
Well, for myself and my team, especially with this year, I only have about 2 of the 12 that have played football before ever. So one thing I make sure that they understand is, football is about, more than just wins and losses. But the great thing about football is even if, you're someone like myself, I hate to lose in anything I'm doing. So, a lot of our kids are the same way. So even on one bad play, it's okay. You can shake it off. We got the next one. So my expectations, honestly, with our practices we've been having, as physical as our kids have been, I've got pretty high expectations, even going into this first year. So do they. They're here, doing all the right things, being disciplined in the classroom, out on the field, in the weight room, everything. So I'm pretty excited. I think we're going to have a pretty good season.
Coach Brody Husky, head coach of Monsignor Donovan. Coach, we want to thank you for being on the show. Good luck to you, and we hope to get you on again this year.
Yep, thank you so much. Y'all have a great one.
You too, Coach. Have a great weekend.
Bruce, building a program back from scratch is a hard thing to do.
Absolutely.
You have to build that foundation. You have to, you get players to buy in, and once a player buys in, then another will, and another will. Hats off to him for what he's doing.
Yeah, and I tell you what, he's speaking my language there. Coaching in a small school is not easy. You got to get guys to come out and play football, first of all, and then to buy into your culture. So good luck to Coach for that.
We're going to take a break. You'll listen to the Steakhouse Restaurant Saturday Morning Quarterback Show right here on the XL Sports Network.
For over 50 years, the Steakhouse Restaurant has been a tradition in Hawkinsville, just like the great tradition of the Hawkinsville Red Devils and their 6 state championships in football. Lewis Fowler and the staff at the Steakhouse Restaurant invite you to stop by for the daily lunch buffet and the special Thursday night buffet, and don't forget the $8.99 daily specials. Go by and see Lewis Fowler and the staff at the Steakhouse Restaurant on the Highway 341 bypass on top of the hill in Hawkinsville. Go Red Devils!
Moving to a new community, what are some things you look for? Clean neighborhoods, hospital, cost of living, a good grocery store, or is it education? In Hawkinsville, we feel as though we have some of it all, especially education. Along with the education factors, how about some of the other things that make a student well-rounded? Things like one-act plays, drama, baseball, softball, or football. At Hawkinsville High School, it's about the total package. There's nothing like a Friday night at Bobby Gentry Stadium with a big red marching machine playing the Washington and Lee Swing. Go Red Devils!
I walk the mean streets of Atlanta in a police uniform. That gives me an important perspective most lawyers can't give you. If you find yourself in a tough situation leading to an arrest, remember, your best bet for a good defense is to remain completely respectful but quiet. I can't stress that enough. And call me as soon as you possibly can. I'm David Venable. Call me.
The big city lawyer with small town charm. David Venable, attorney at law. Broad Street, Hawkinsville. Call 478-783-2825.
For all your tax needs and IRS e-file in Middle Georgia, it's Lester's Income Tax Service at 99 Commerce Street, Hawkinsville. Call 478-783-1650. Best of luck, Red Devils. The answer to your insurance needs is simple. The Grimsley Agency. No matter your needs, life, auto, or home, it's the Grimsley Agency. You can trust Danny Grimsley and his staff with great coverage for your whole family. New car or home, the answer is the same. The Grimsley Agency. Give them a call at 783-2581 or see them at 203 Commerce Street, Hawkinsville. Proud supporters of all Red Devil athletics.
There is one place for great custom cut meats like fresh beef, pork, chicken, and more. It's Harris Country Meats. They also have a full line deli with smoked brisket, barbecue, salad, sandwiches, plus much, much more. They also offer a great line of fresh and frozen vegetables. Harris Country Meats and Grocery, family owned and operated since 1943. You can call them at 478-783-3276, or you can see them at 66 Cochran Highway. Harris Country Meats and Groceries, proud supporters of all Red Devil athletics.
Welcome back to the Saturday Morning Quarterback Show, riding in with the horse. Chuck, let's do some more scores. You want me to start?
Yeah, you go ahead and start.
All right, we got North Gwinnett and Mill Creek, no score there. Carver out of Atlanta, 28-12 over LaGrange. Bradwell Institute, Wayne County faced off. Wayne County on top of that one, 49-20. Northwest Whitfield, 38. Pepperell, 0. Savannah Country Day, 48. Windsor Forest, 0. Lakeside out of DeKalb, 26-6 over Berkmar. We had Rutland, 26-6 over Towers. Cedartown and Rockmart had one, ended up 13-12. Cedartown on top of that one. Milton, 27-13 over Collins Hill. Howard, 42-6 over Southwestern. Druid Hills, 26-7 over Kip Atlanta Charter. And Camden County and Columbia, I think we talked about that one a little bit earlier. Chuck touched on that one, 23-12.
A little bit of revenge on that one there.
Yes.
In the Middle Georgia area here, we had the Hoco Bears took on the Sumter County Panthers and won 56-12. Congratulations to Hoco. Veterans beat Richmond Academy 42-6. Warner Robins fell late in the game to Lee County on the road. They were leading that game the whole game until the last couple minutes of the game, and they lost 26-19.
Yeah, we followed that one last night also. We were following. There were several around the region we were following, and we were pulling real hard for the Demons, the new coaching staff and everything, but just fell short there at the end.
Yep. Tiff County and Coffee. Tiff fell to Coffee County 38-13. Spalding beat Eagles Landing 41-14. Let's see. Madonna beat Locust Grove 53-7. And we talked about this one too. Ola shocked us anyway.
Yeah.
Beat Griffin 31-0. That's a huge one, Eddie. What do you think?
That one I was not expecting. I mean, nothing against Ola now. We're not talking bad about Ola, but yeah, that one surprised me.
Another big surprise is this one here. Baldwin County upset Peach County, and in Fort Valley, 34-13.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you something. Baldwin County is one of those schools they'll surprise you. They have athletes there.
Yeah, they do.
They compete. They compete with the private school over there, but they're athletes in Baldwin County, and they can put a good football team on the field. And this might be one of those years where it might not be a surprise at the end of the year they make the playoffs.
That's right. Here's another big one here. The Hughes beat Carrollton in Carrollton 39-34. That's the big one. You got that big quarterback over there at Carrollton, Juju Lewis. So that's a surprise there. Moving on. Another Macon final. Westside beats Central 56-0. We'll have Coach Spoon here on the phone here in just a couple minutes.
Yeah, one of my favorites.
Yeah, he is, man. What a man. I love that guy. Let's see. That's what okay, one more. Thomasville beat Brooks County 42-20.
The one that surprised me, I'm looking down at the scores here. Of course, Vidalia and South Effingham 8-7 win by Vidalia, but Statesboro generally has a pretty good football team. Glen Academy come in and beat them 21-0. That one kind of surprised me. Of course, guys, we're looking at the first game of the season. It was humid. There was no airflow anywhere, I think, in the state of Georgia. It's like a blanket was put down. My wife was in Dooley watching Chris Dooley play, and she said they were packed in, and there was no air. So, things like that had to have played in it. And we saw people cramping up at our game for the second week in a row. I mean, it's hot out there. I mean, I know we played when it was hot back when we were young, but it's just different now. Yeah, a couple more while we're waiting to get our next coach on the air. Mountain View, Shiloh, 58-7, Mountain View. St. Pius, 19-0 over Decula. Buford, 18-0 over St. Francis Academy. We're just about ready to bring our next coach on.
Doing great, man. I got Bruce in here.
Okay, to the phone line we go. On the line this morning with us, Coach Spoon Resper. Good morning, Coach.
Hey, good morning. How you doing, Bruce?
Doing good, Coach. I just want
to say one thing, Coach. I look forward every year to your intro, your dance with the players. This year, y'all did real good. I gotta hand it to you.
You guys were breaking up. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Coach. Can you hear me now?
Coach,
Coach, still breaking up a little bit.
Coach, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Now I can.
A good game last night. Played Central, come out on top of that one. Tell us a little bit about the game.
We just wanted to come out and play, with fire and emotion. That's our rival school, and we just wanted to come out and get a start fast and finish fast. And my kids did a good job of doing that and playing with a lot of physicality. And so I was just happy with the way we played overall. Of course, we made a lot of mistakes first game, but it's good to go back and watch film and make corrections with the guys playing with a lot of emotion and full speed.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the way it is. Everybody wants to look at each and every game and say, this was bad. No, it's a growth from the beginning of the season to the end of the season. You want to see a different team. And, you want to make the playoffs. And really, we have two seasons. We have what we call preseason, which is the, non-region stuff. I mean, a lot of it could be, in your case, up there Macon, you played another Macon team. So there is some rivalry there. But really, you're building. It's a building thing where you build from the first game to the last game, and you want your players to get better, and you want some life lessons taught and things like that, which, I mean, in my mind, those guys are lucky. They got one of the best coaches in the state of Georgia. But there's got to be positives there. And, the score is one thing, but I know you got talent on that field.
Yeah, we just been working so hard since December, and the kids are, they still believe in the winning tradition at Westside. The Atlanta Journal-Constitution wrote an article saying that we're one of the winningest programs without a state title. So our kids are really hungry for a state title, and I want so badly for them to get a state title.
Well, Coach, I think the coach is in place, the players are in place. Sometimes I know from our past here at Hawkinsville, it's things happen. The ball bounces funny sometimes, and you got to have it bounce your way. And everything has to line up for that state title.
That's right. You've got to have some talent, but sometimes, as they say, it's better to be lucky than good.
Right about that.
Well, I think, Coach, in y'all's stance, you're lucky and good. Tell us a little bit about your team.
Well, we got some. We're still young. We only have, I think, 10 seniors. So we're starting a lot of sophomores and a lot of juniors. My son's my quarterback right now. He played really well last night, and he's in the 10th grade, and he threw a touchdown to my middle son, who's a senior now, and that was really a special moment to see that. And I've got an opportunity to coach 3 of my sons, and that just doesn't happen very often, and I'm just so thankful and grateful for that.
Well, also your brother's on your staff, and that's got to be special working with him.
It is. That was his first game as my offensive coordinator. He's done a tremendous job. We think so much alike, so I don't have to worry about what plays he's calling, because every now and then I check him before the play and ask what he's thinking, and we're thinking the same thing and on the same page. So I trust him 100%, and he's done a good job. And that's special to have your brother as your offense coordinator and 2 of your sons playing for you, and your wife is the water girl. So it's a risk family affair.
Well, Coach, 15 seconds. Southwest up next. What do you know anything about them?
They're very talented. They got a good quarterback. They're coached by Joe Dupree, who was my offense coordinator at Westside, and they have 3 receivers that can go get the football, and we'll have our hands full next week.
Well, Coach, good luck next week. Congratulations on the game yesterday. Look forward to having you back on. As always, one of our favorites. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you, guys, for what you do for high school football.
Thank you, Coach. On the line with us was Coach Spoonrist for Westside. Chuck, I mean, anytime you think about Westside, you got to think about the Risper.
Yep, they sure do. And Coach Westford's is a great man, great coach. Comes from a great pedigree of coaching. His coaching tree is from where he came from is rich, and he's a classy person. I'll tell you that.
He is.
Living and making and coaching up there. I had some dealings with Coach Westford, and he's a great classy person. Enjoy talking to him.
Well, as we head into our next coach, which should be Coach Tucker Pruitt Fitzgerald, Bruce, there were some games last night that were great. Fitzgerald, Irwin, that's always a good game. On the line with us is Coach Tucker Pruitt Fitzgerald. Coach, welcome to the Saturday Morning Quarterback Show.
Thank y'all for having me.
Coach, anytime you face off with Irwin County, you got the county, down there. It's a rivalry. You never know what's going to happen. You always hope you're going to end up on the right side. Last night, things went y'all's way.
Yeah, obviously it's a big game for both communities. Both of us have had good programs over the years, and you'd like to maybe have a couple games to get your feet wet before you play a big, meaningful game like that. But ready or not, here it is. And our kids did good. They handled the environment well. And, we had some new faces out there first night under the Friday night lights. But they settled in good. We didn't start the way we wanted, but we finished strong. And anytime you're able to open up the season 1-0 with a win and beat your rival, it's a good night.
Yes, sir, it is. We talked a little bit about that this morning before we come on the air. There are a lot of games that have been flip-flopped around. Usually you wouldn't see a Fitzgerald-Irwin County game first game of the year. Usually it's later on, but region play and all that, and the way Single A, they went away from the points and all that stuff and all the formulas, and now it's, everything's focused on region play. So a lot of games got moved around. That's just one of them. It just seems like football is different nowadays.
Right. Well, there's some good and some bad about it. The good is that it's out of the way now. Some people around here make that your whole season, and whether you beat Irwin or not, that's like the whole year. Well, the good thing is when you get it out of the way week 1, now both teams can move on to what's in front of them, and I hope both teams will have a good year again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Tell us a little bit about the game.
So we capitalized early in the game. We punted the ball to them and about to pin them real deep, and their returner or one of the guys trying to block was in the way, and it hit him on the hip, and we were able to get the ball there at about the 12-yard line and capitalize to go up 7-0. And to be honest with you, man, it was just kind of a punch back. We were going at it and not much action on the scoreboard, but there was a lot of hitting, punting, playing good defense, and it was 7-0 at halftime, and we came out the second half and made a big stop, and then put together a real good drive, about an 8-minute drive, ate up most of the third quarter and scored, got a turnover, scored again, and was able to score a late one there with about 2 or 3 minutes left to go to win 28-0. So obviously, football at the beginning of the year is pretty ugly. It's just we got a lot we need to clean up with execution and personnels and pre-snap penalties. So we definitely got a lot of room for improvement and a long way to go, but I was proud of our kids for how they competed. It's a rival game, but both teams and both fan bases show class and sportsmanship, so it was a good night.
Yeah, Coach, it was. Tell us a little bit about your team.
Well, we think we got a good team. We hope we do anyway. We got a lot of starters back, probably 6 or 7 starters back on both sides of the ball. The strength of our team is the offensive line. We've got 4 out of 5 starters back from last year's team. And so that's kind of what we do. We run the ball. We try to wear people out, try to be in good shape, be physical, and win the turnover battle. And we did last night. That's kind of what we did. We ran the ball, and, sometimes in the first half it ain't working and everybody's hollering for the pass. They want to throw the ball, and sometimes that just ain't kind of what we do. So we just stick to our guns and keep running the plays and trying to wear people down and be in great shape. And hopefully that'll keep working for us.
Coach, next up is Turner County. Have you got anything on them yet?
We just traded film with them this morning. I've got some film. First off, I got some yard work to do. The Irwin week, I didn't get much attention to my yard. My yard looks like a jungle. So I'm going to start on that here in a minute, and then we're going to look at the tape from last night, and then we'll ease into Turner County this afternoon or tomorrow morning. But one thing I know about this is year 2 under Coach Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
And they had a big win last night against Worth County to open the season. So they ought to be riding high, a lot of momentum. And so we'll definitely have to correct our mistakes and be a better version of what we were last night next week. And definitely going to give Turner County our full respect. And hopefully we can have a great week and go be better than we were last night.
Coach Tucker Pruitt with us, Fitzgerald head coach. Coach, good. Congratulations on a good win. Good luck next week, and we look forward to getting you back on there.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all for having me. Y'all have a great day.
Chuck, I mean, that's one of them rivalry games. We talk about it all the time. It's a county rivalry game, but it is still a rivalry game, and you can't count out Irwin County when you play those the Warriors. But Fitzgerald was able to come out on top last night.
Yep, that's right. And I tell you what, Coach Pruitt's talking about doing yard work, and I'll promise you one thing: when he gets out there on that lawnmower, what he's doing, he's gonna be thinking about that game last night and what's coming up. I promise.
He ain't gonna be thinking about that shrub he's right next to, and his wife's gonna be mad at him if he cuts it. He's gonna be thinking, "See, I got that corner I need to worry about, and that nose tackle's probably gonna take a double." That's just the way it is. But it's his way of relaxation. He gets away from everything, and he doesn't have to worry about anything.
Some of the best playing you can do as a coach or anything really in life is on lawnmower and in the shower.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Or dreaming about it at night.
That's right.
It's 24/7.
3 o'clock in the morning, waking up and you can't go back to sleep.
Coach, you got Coach. Well, you are our coach on staff. Chuck, you got some scores?
Yeah, we'll go through the scoreboard again. Lanier over South Forsyth, 37-20. Central Gwinnett over Discovery, 44-0. Duluth over MLK, 44-21. Great Atlanta Christian 39 over Meadow Creek 14. Peachtree Ridge over Sickenden 42-7. Buford over St. Francis 18-0. St. Pius X over Decula on the road 19-0. Mountain View over Shiloh 58-7. I think we already talked about Hoco over Sumter County 56-12. On down, let's see, North Augusta over Evans 14-7. That was a defensive struggle. Lakeside Evans on the road to Aiken. That's in South Carolina, right across the border. 46-24. Vidae over South Effingham, 8-7. Man, there's been some
close games right there.
Out there.
Yeah, I mean it's Dodge County Blakely was a defensive struggle. That was a defensive struggle. I mean, there's been several.
All right, let's see. Monday Mills over Lovejoy, 20-12. And one more. Woodward Academy over Trinity Christian, 45-8.
I'm looking at scores. We've gone through, we bounced around, but one that stands out to me, and it's unusual that they're where they're at. Of course, look, I've seen Bainbridge play. It wasn't but a quarter and a half, but they loaded. I'm just going to tell you, they are loaded. They got some defensive players that swarm. The line is one of those lines that comes around once every 5 years for the AAA and things like that. But Bainbridge 55-3 over Eagles Landing Christian. Eagle Landing Christian changed coaches. I think at Bruce it was 2 years ago, and they're in a rebuilding mode, and that's something that's unusual for them.
Yeah, sure is. They've had some talent come through there. There's private school, but buddy, I tell you something, they got some good ball players come through there.
Yeah, I mean, the joke was Buford and the private. Well, not private. Well, what it is. University of Buford, number one.
Yeah.
And then you had a couple around there, and then Elka sits down there in South Atlanta, and they were always the ones grabbing the other athletes, and it just it's not happening right now. You got to think they're going to come back because they're too good of a school, too good of the history and pedigree of Elka is too good to be where they're at. Like I said, I'm not taking anything away from Bainbridge. Guys, I'm telling you, they are good. They should make the playoffs this year.
It's a target-rich environment up there. You're right. There's talent everywhere up there, and it's accessible from all over. And it's not fair. I say it's not fair, but it's different when you have schools like that, and especially in the public schools that have no districts. They can bring kids in from anywhere. You can go to that school anywhere, from anywhere. Rome was one of them.
Well, guys, you got to give a little credit to some of those coaches too. That Jonathan Guest did a heck of a job building Elka. Elka was an average team before he took it. And I'm afraid if they're not careful, they'll be just an average team again. Now, he took that same philosophy to Hebron Christian up in North Georgia, and they gave him the key to the city and the school. And he has started that type of program up there. Look for those guys to be the new Elka and not too far down the road either.
Well, I can remember there's a couple of stories we could talk about, but I can remember back when 03, 04 we were up in the Dome. Elka was there.
Yes.
I mean, they were playing. Buford was there. Single A school. I mean, that was it was always amazing me. You go back 2 years later, they bumped up. They're AA or AAA, and they just kind of get it's.
And they've won the entire time.
Yeah, every step they made. So.
We're going to take a break. You'll listen to the Steakhouse Restaurant Saturday Morning Quarterback Show right here on the XL Sports Network.
You're listening to
For
The
over
River.
50 years, the Steakhouse Restaurant has been a tradition in Hawkinsville, just like the great tradition of the Hawkinsville Red Devils and their 6 state championships in football. Lewis Fowler and the staff at the Steakhouse Restaurant invite you to stop by for the daily lunch buffet and the special Thursday night buffet, and don't forget the $8.99 daily specials. Go by and see Lewis Fowler and the staff at the Steakhouse Restaurant on the Highway 341 bypass on top of the hill in Hawkinsville. Go Red Devils!
When moving to a new community, what are some things you look for? Clean neighborhoods, hospital, cost of living, a good grocery store, or is it education? In Hawkinsville, we feel as though we have some of it all, especially education. Along with the education factors, how about some of the other things that make a student well-rounded? Things like one-act plays, drama, baseball, softball, or football. At Hawkinsville High School, it's about the total package. There's nothing like a Friday night at Bobby Gentry Stadium with a big red marching machine playing the Washington and Lee Swing. Go Red Devils!
I walk the mean streets of Atlanta in a police uniform. That gives me an important perspective most lawyers can't give you. If you find yourself in a tough situation leading to an arrest, remember, your best bet for a good defense is to remain completely respectful but quiet. I can't stress that enough. And call me as soon as you possibly can. I'm David Venable. Call me.
The Big City Lawyer with Small Town Shine. David Venable, attorney at law, Broad Street, Hawkinsville. Call 478-783-2825.
For all your tax needs and IRS e-file in Middle Georgia, it's Lester's Income Tax Service at 99 Commerce Street, Hawkinsville. Call 478-783-1650. Best of luck, Red Devils. The answer to your insurance needs is simple. The Grimsley Agency. No matter your needs, life, auto, or home, it's the Grimsley Agency. You can trust Danny Grimsley and his staff with great coverage for your whole family. New car or home, the answer is the same. The Grimsley Agency. Give them a call at 783-2581 or see them at 203 Commerce Street, Hawkinsville. Proud supporters of all Red Devil athletics.
Here's where we play your familiar favorites, The River.
Welcome back. Welcome back into the Steakhouse Saturday morning quarterback show live from Dave Venable's studios in Hawkinsville.
Bruce?
I don't know. I'm here.
I'm looking at 10:20.
It's me. It's me. I don't know.
10:20, man. We started at 9, and all of a sudden we've gone an hour and 20 minutes. It's fast.
Fastest 3 hours in radio.
I'm telling you.
Ain't no doubt about it. And of course, I think we've had a fine lineup so far, and we got some great ones coming up too.
Definitely, I agree with you 100% there. There are some great coaches. Of course, we've had Tim Suttles, coach at Hawkinsville, Portal, Jason McEachern, Chad Campbell, Von Laster, Thomas Smith so far, Brody Huskies, and my favorite, Spoon Risper, and Tucker Pruitt. So Jesse Hicks up next. That ought to be interesting. He ought to be on top of the moon, right? I'm telling you. On the line with us now is Coach Jesse Hicks from Baldwin County. Coach, congratulations on that win last night.
Hey, man, I was thinking about the movie Radio as I was coming back up the road from Fort Valley. And I remember the coach said in the movie, he said, it's nothing like Friday night when you're looking for a win and Saturday morning when you found it.
I'm telling you, Coach. I'm telling you, especially, I mean, it's like I tell them, Baldwin County's got is a good program. You've done a great job up there, and we appreciate you. You do a great job with the kids, a lot of life lessons and things like that. Peach County, they're no slouch.
Oh, no.
I mean,
Coach Westbrook's going to do an awesome job over there, and that's one thing I was telling some of my friends from Fort Valley last night. I said, man, this is a transition. And so Marquise has already proven himself as a great football coach. I mean, the guy played for 3-4 state championships, 1-2. So, again, it's still the same coach. He's just in a different area, and the transition takes time. And people have to understand that, But, again, an awesome job by our coaches and our players last night. And I tell you what, I think I got the best running back in the state, Michael Welch.
You're going to get no argument from me, Coach. I mean, just the way the game went, the flow of the game, it was great to hear, and we were proud that, Coach Westbrook is a friend of ours also, but I was just proud of you and the boys last night. Tell us a little bit about the game.
That means a lot. Thank you for saying that. I just think that this process started back in December when we lost to Bainbridge. And they just literally just out-physicaled us. And we just said that we weren't going to let that happen anymore. And I brought in C.B. Cornett, 75 years young, to run our weight training program. And it has been more than I even expected. So I just had to say something about the coach and what the job he's done with our guys, getting them stronger. And I think that maturation process that started 6 months ago has now come into fruition. And my kids just played an awesome game on all levels last night. It's 28 years I've been in this, 21 as a head coach, and by far the effort level that I got from those kids was far and beyond anything I've ever seen. So I just give all praise and due honor to God for giving me the will to try to pour something into them and then being able to pour back out to each other last night.
Well, Coach, it's the battle's won in the trenches. I don't care.
That's right.
You could take Michael Vick. You could take Archie Manning, you can take whoever you want to and put him at quarterback, but he can't throw the ball from his butt. So you know what I mean. It's there's a lot more goes into it, and you're right. The philosophy, at Baldwin County has changed. You've got we might be beat, but we're not going to be out physical. So you've got that philosophy, and like I said, leadership starts at the top. I mean, you got to have a great support staff, but you got the guys going in the right direction, and just from what I see, this is nothing against Peach. Peach is a good football team. They got a great coach, and when they buy into, if you take this game out, the season hadn't really started for them. We're in preseason, non-region play.
Correct.
So I expect Coach Westbrook to get that turned around real quick. But when your kids buy into what you're doing and they put in that effort, you're going to be successful. Tell me about
no doubt about it.
Yeah, tell me about the leadership of your team. Who's your leaders?
Well, you know what? I think that's been sort of one of the things that we've been searching for when it comes to our young people, comes to our players. But, man, I'm going to be honest with you. The team is led from up front, just like what you said. Our offensive and defensive line has done an awesome job, man. We have demanded the line of scrimmage, and their leadership and the way that they push themselves versus each other every day. And when your leadership comes from those guys that, like I call them the road grader, whether that be on the defensive or offensive line, when those guys are leading, you got something special. But just to say a couple of names, of course, Michael Welch is doing an awesome job. Our quarterback, Lamar Pounds, Quavius Russell, defensive lineman. And the guy that I'm naming, the only one of those guys that's a senior is Micah. We are loaded on both sides of the ball, offensive, defensive lines. The guys coming back, they got 2 and 3 more years to actually do this. One of the ones that I'm really, really proud of is Howard Clark, 15-year-old 10th grader who averaged out last night 98% up front.
Well, Coach.
But again, yes, sir.
I was just going to say, Coach, great job last night. Great job. We got Coach Jesse Hicks from Baldwin County. Great win last night over Peach. Next up is Putnam. Coach, we're out of time. I just want to say congratulations. Good luck next week, and we look forward to having you back on the show.
Thanks for having me on, man. God bless you for your positive words. You guys keep doing what you're doing for high school athletics.
Thank you, Coach. Just had Coach Jesse Hicks on from Baldwin County. Big win over Peach County. It's just one of those games, Bruce, that it's a building stone. Baldwin County should be doing well.
Oh, absolutely. Coach Hicks is a phenomenal coach. He's been an inspiration to a lot of folks. Eddie, for months I get a message from Coach every morning, and I look forward to it.
Yeah. He's a positive role model. He's a person that teaches his students the value of classroom, and hard work. So, hats off to him. He's one of our favorites here.
Oh, absolutely, and he and his program do things the right way, and it's just a positive thing. Want to remind you, we're here each week throughout the course of the season. Steakhouse Restaurant Saturday morning quarterback show, fastest 3 hours in radio, 9 to 12.
And some good eating.
Absolutely.
It's trying to get our next coach on, so.
And if you're out and about today, once this program's over, head on out to the steakhouse at 12 o'clock. Sit down and get you a great meal off the buffet. You won't find better food anywhere. I guarantee you're going to find some great fried chicken, the best in Middle Georgia anywhere.
Hey, you're not going to get any argument with me there. I mean, it's some good food.
Phone line we go. On the line with us now, Coach Tyler Malou from Lanier. Coach, good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, guys.
Coach, glad to have you with us as always, and exciting win last night and opened up the season.
Yes, sir. No, I'm really proud of our kids. It was a tough match. But both teams played really hard and a lot of big-time hits, and really excited for our school and our kids and our community.
Coach, tell us about your preseason, through the summer and where you think your program's at and where you think it's headed.
Yeah, I mean, year 2 is always better. Finally got a staff in place that I feel comfortable with, and the kids are really starting to buy into what we're doing. Ever since the season ended December, working really hard, and we got a lot of kids that played last year coming back, so that's always fun when you have some experience. And like I said, the kids are just hungry, and they've been working really hard. So excited for them to have a little bit of success right now.
Coach, kind of break down the game last night for us. A good win last night for you guys over South Forsyth, 37-20. Kind of break it down for us.
Yeah, our quarterback, played really well. Definitely the best game of his career, and didn't do too much and used his feet a little bit, but got it to our skill players, especially number 1, Chase Jamison. So, Chase had a great game, had 8 catches for over 130, 140 yards, and scored a 2-point conversion and had a rushing touchdown. So our senior receiver, Chase Jamison, had a really great game and kind of set the tone for the rest of the season.
Coach, just tell us a little bit about your game.
Yeah, so first drive of the game, South Forsyth comes out and they end up kicking a 57-yard field goal. We felt really good about our defense stopping them, and they line up, and their kicker hit a 57 and a 60-yard field goal. Then we took the ball, went down, and scored, make it 7-3, and kind of went back and forth, had a couple penalties, and right before halftime, we got a turnover, punched it in, and they kicked a 60-yard field goal right before halftime to go up, or for us to be up 19-13, I believe. And then the second half, we came out with the ball and went down and punched it in, and right in the fourth quarter, right when we needed a score to put the game away, we did. So just a really good overall game, offense, defense, special teams. We're really proud of our kids.
Well, Coach, next up is going to be Peachtree Ridge. Have you got anything on them yet?
Not yet. They have they're in Gwinnett. They're right down the road. We played them last year. I know they got a good group coming back too, and a really well-coached team. Got a lot of really good players. They're going to be another challenge for us, but another opportunity. Really excited for our kids.
Well, Coach, we have Coach Tyler Maloof, head coach at Lanier, on. Good win over South Forsyth last night. Peachtree Ridge up next. Coach, good luck next week. We look forward to having you back on real soon.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you, sir.
You listen to the Steakhouse Restaurant Saturday Morning Quarterback Show right here on the XL Sports Network. We'll take a commercial break, and we'll be back with more after these messages live from the Dave Venable Studios in Hawkinsville.
When I say Hawkinsville Dispatch and News, few things pop into your mind. Community involvement, community awareness, covering what matters to the people of Pulaski County and serving the area since 1866. However, it is much more than that. It's office supplies for home, business, or school. It's also your headquarters for large print copies for all your business and construction needs. So when you need a copy of your construction plans, no need to go out of town. See Chuck and his staff. You may call today, 783-1291, or see them at 329 Commerce Street, Hawkinsville. Hawkinsville Dispatch and News, serving the finest people in the world since 1866.
For over 50 years, the Steakhouse Restaurant has been a tradition in Hawkinsville, just like the great tradition of the Hawkinsville Red Devils and their 6 state championships in football. Lewis Fowler and the staff at the Steakhouse Restaurant invite you to stop by for the daily lunch buffet and the special Thursday night buffet, and don't forget the $8.99 daily specials. Go by and see Lewis Fowler and the staff at the Steakhouse Restaurant on the Highway 341 bypass on top of the hill in Hawkinsville. Go Red Devils!
When moving
Moving to a new community, what are some things you look for? Clean neighborhoods, hospital, cost of living, a good grocery store, or is it education? In Hawkinsville, we feel as though we have some of it all, especially education. Along with the education factors, how about some of the other things that make a student well-rounded? Things like one-act plays, drama, baseball, softball, or football. At Hawkinsville High School, it's about the total package. There's nothing like a Friday night at Bobby Gentry Stadium with a big red marching machine playing the Washington and Lee Swing. Go Red Devils!
For all your tax needs and IRS e-file in Middle Georgia, it's Lester's Income Tax Service at 99 Commerce Street, Hawkinsville. Call 478-783-1650. Best of luck, Red Devils.
I walk the mean streets of Atlanta in a police uniform. That gives me an important perspective most lawyers can't give you. If you find yourself in a tough situation leading to an arrest, remember, your best bet for a good defense is to remain completely respectful but quiet. I can't stress that enough, and call me as soon as you possibly can. I'm David Venable. Call me.
The Big City Lawyer with Small Town Shine. David Venable, attorney at law, Broad Street, Hawkinsville. Call 478-783-2825.
The answer to your insurance needs is simple. The Grimsley Agency. No matter your needs, life, auto, or home, it's the Grimsley Agency. You can trust Danny Grimsley and his staff with great coverage for your whole family. New car or home, the answer is the same. The Grimsley Agency. Give them a call at 783-2581 or see them at 203 Commerce Street, Hawkinsville. Proud supporters of all Red Devil athletics.
This is the river.
I like that. Bruce, I think I ought to be able to pick the music that heads into my Chuck and I's section.
Listen, I've seen you. I've heard your selections when you were announcing baseball games. You shouldn't be doing
that. That was the old Eddie. Me and Chuck can get together. We can get some decent music to lead into our segment. That isn't the horse.
I like it. I like what we just led into right there.
I mean, I love it. That to me, that would be great.
Eddie, we got Coach Paul Carroll from Howard on the phone. Coach Carroll, how you doing this morning?
Doing fine. How y'all doing this morning?
Doing great. Eddie, you got something you need to ask him?
Do I?
No, I'll take Coach Carroll. Hey, great win against Southwest the other night. How'd that game go? Give us a rundown on the game.
I tell you, we're very excited about this coming up season with the guys that we've got. We come out a little slow there in the first quarter. The offense did what they were supposed to do, especially the offensive line we got. They handled the guys there in the first quarter, drove it down, scored, made it 7-0. And we gave up a big play on defense, let the guys get behind us, and then that made it 7-6. They missed the extra point. Come back in the second quarter, ended up playing the way we needed to play, especially on up front on offense and defensive line. We started really attacking and moving some people off the ball. Was very impressed with our running backs this year. We got probably about 4 guys, and it helps us with depth. And ended up winning 42-6, and that's kind of what you want to do. Your first game is get out to a fast start, and very excited about how our kids played.
Yeah, Coach, Barney got that thing started up, and then you took it over, Coach, and I think I've seen a big improvement over the last couple of years. Tell us a little bit about your team. You got anybody that's new to come in, or what you got, any standouts on that team right now?
Yeah, actually, we've got our quarterback back, and Cam Taylor. He actually, when he was a freshman, we had him at a receiver and a DB, and actually he was one of our best athletes on the team. So we ended up moving the quarterback, and he's just getting better and better each year and each day. He's our go-to guy on offense. Actually, this year we had a move in Jacoby Allen. Come in from South Georgia. He's playing some running back and defensive back for us. Something that we're looking at right now that I hadn't had since I've been there is we got a lot of depth at running back. And that's pretty good for us. We're able to keep those guys fresh, and some of them are playing both ways. They're playing offense and defense.
That's great, Coach. I was at the Macon Touchdown Club last year when a couple of your guys got some awards, and a great night. I think it was highlighting the Howard school that night. Bill King was the guest speaker. I got a chance to talk to you there. Coach, tell us about your region. How's that region setting up for you, and how you think that's going to go this year?
Last night it just showed me on Friday when you got Baldwin beating Peach like they did.
Yes, sir.
And we've got, Perry, Baldwin, Griffin, Spalding, West Lawrence, West Side, and Griffin, and it's a tough region.
Yeah, I tell you what, Coach,
you got to be ready to play each.
That's right.
Each week, you better be ready to play.
That's almost like the SEC of high school football, isn't it?
It is, and something that we always run into that most of those schools are one county schools that we're going to be playing against.
Yeah.
And that's always kind of tough. Sometimes if you're a big city school, sometimes you're kind of behind the eight ball as far as starting out right off the bat, because each county can do something different. For example, getting those kids in weight room for 2 periods.
Yeah, Coach, you got about 45 seconds left. Have you had a chance to look at Central yet? That's your next opponent. You had any time to look at them yet?
I actually have not. I'm actually up here in Athens, moving my daughter in for college right now. So I'll be doing that probably here in about another 3 hours.
Family first, right? I get it. Hey, Coach Carroll, great job on the win against Southwest, and good luck going forward. Great talking to you. Look forward to you coming back on the show soon.
Thank you for having us, man.
That's Coach Carroll from Howard. We're going to take we're going to get Coach Westbrook on the phone here in just a second.
Yeah, it's that was the game last night. That win last night over Southwest. Coach Carroll, he's got something going up there. He's Howard's playing some good football right now. Next up, they got Central, and that's going to be a inner city rivalry right there. So, they got it. They got that cut out for them.
Yep. Yeah, there was a time where we didn't know, when I lived up there in Macon, we didn't know if Howard's even going to have enough kids to play football. And then Barney came in there, and he started turning that thing around and handed it off to Coach Carroll. And I'll tell you what, seeing how that program has gone in the last 4 or 5 years, I'm proud of what he's doing up there.
Yeah.
Try to get Coach Westbrook from Peach County on the phone.
All right.
Let's be right there with Coach Westbrook.
Hey, Coach Westbrook, welcome into the Saturday Morning Quarterback Show.
Hey, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Coach, it's a building stone. That's all we can say. Tough loss last night to Baldwin. You never know what you're going to get a well-coached team up there. I don't want to take anything away from them, but it's they got a good program up there. It was a tough loss, but your players never quit. That's the one thing, and people. I'd really hope that people don't read too much into this, because it's a changing of the guards. You're bringing your system in there, and we know that it's going to get turned around. It's just going to take some time.
Yeah, I mean, go back to what you said. I mean, Jesse does a great job over at Baldwin. Just give them all the credit in the world for coming in and just having a good game plan and staying within what they do. And it's going to take a little time for us to turn the mindset of the kids here, but we will turn it though. It's going to be good.
Yeah, you're too good of a coach. I know it's going to be successful over there, but people, you just can't flip a switch. It takes some building. Tell us a little bit about your team. Tell us, the makeup.
Well, right now, man, we're senior heavy. We got 22 seniors on the team. Majority of those guys do play for us. Some of those guys go both ways. On the offense side of the ball, I saw our quarterback, DJ Hudson, who is a phenomenal athlete. He is a dual threat guy. He had a heck of a game last night with his legs. And we didn't move the ball too well throwing the ball, but he leads us on the offensive side of the ball. We got some pretty stout guys on the offensive line. Peyton Joseph is one of those guys who was heavily recruited.
up front. He's a tackle for us. Jordan Miller-Horn is another big tackle for us. Ty Owens is another senior, and a host of other seniors up front. In the backfield, Chris Scott does a great job running the ball for us. And on the outside, we have Dylan Johnson and not DJ Hudson, his brother Zion Hudson, and Sammy Williams in the receiver for us. We've got a really good group of guys on defense. We had a couple of miscues last night, but we got some good guys over there. We just got to get them right. Our linebacker core is the strength of our team. I guess I'll start with our linebackers here with B.J. Hendrick. He's a really good outside linebacker for us. Amari Wright, he's another outside linebacker for us. On the inside, we got Cedric Robert, who's a preseason All-State kid, and Carson Freeman, who's another inside linebacker for us. They make up the chemistry of our defense over there, and our defensive line does a good job too.
Coach,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, Coach, it's different. It's different coaching staff, different schemes, different. People don't understand the work that goes into changing things. It's not something that can happen like in the old days. You could practice whatever you wanted to. There were no dead weeks and all that good stuff. Now it's you're limited by what you can do, when you can do it. Players don't get, you don't have access to the players as much. You just gotta force feed them when you have them. So, it's and looking at your schedule. Next week it's not going to get any easier. Baldwin's a good team. You got Northside coming up, and they're going to be loaded for bear. Jones County, Perry, Hardaway. I mean, when you hit region, you've already gone through a landmine of teams. It's tough schedule.
Yes, sir. We just got to get ready for the next one, man. We try not to look too far forward, or we just got to make sure we're just getting our miscues right that we had last night and just taking it one game at a time. When we look at it holistically, it can be overwhelming. So we just got to make sure that we stay the course and we play each game at a time, man. We just praying right now that we can get some good weather so we can have that practice time like you talked about, because that kind of limits us a little bit, but it's no excuse because everybody's under the same ruling and everything. So we just got to make sure we take advantage of the time that we do have with them and just get better every day. We can't sulk. We can't drop our heads. We got to go keep fighting. And I know for a long time, Peach County's been really, really stout, really good at football, and nothing's going to change.
Coach, less than 30 seconds left. Northside, same situation. You coaching staff. Have you had a chance to look at anything on them yet?
I have not. They actually play today. They line up at 4 o'clock up at Mercer. We'll go watch them then. So as far as like film goes, I haven't seen them. I know they scrimmage Perry in the opener. And like you said, it's the new coaching staff over there, so we'll see what they got.
Well, Coach, Marquise Westbrook, one of our favorites, have no doubt that Peach County, whatever issues there are, they will be straightened out. Great coach. Next up is Northside. We wish you the best of luck next week, and look forward to having you back.
I appreciate y'all, man. Thanks for having me on again.
Thank you. That was Coach.
All right, have a good one.
That was Coach Marquise Westbrook, Peach County's new head coach. And Chuck, I really think that they're going to be good.
We'll take a break. Listen to the XL Sports Network.
Dive into the river.
When I say Hawkinsville Dispatch and News, few things pop into your mind. Community involvement, community awareness, covering what matters to the people of Pulaski County and serving the area since 1866. However, it is much more than that. It's office supplies for home, business, or school. It's also your headquarters for large print copies for all your business and construction needs. So when you need a copy of your construction plans, no need to go out of town. See Chuck and his staff. You may call today, 783-1291, or see them at 329 Commerce Street, Hawkinsville. Hawkinsville Dispatch and News, serving the finest people in the world since 1866.
For over 50 years, the steakhouse restaurant has been a tradition in Hawkinsville, just like the great tradition of the Hawkinsville Red Devils and their 6 state championships in football. Lewis Fowler and the staff at the steakhouse restaurant invite you to stop by for the daily lunch buffet and the special Thursday night buffet, and don't forget the $8.99 daily specials. Go by and see Lewis Fowler and the staff at the steakhouse restaurant on the Highway 341 bypass on top of the hill in Hawkinsville. Go Red Devils!
When moving to a new community, what are some things you look for? Clean neighborhoods, hospital, cost of living, a good grocery store, or is it education? In Hawkinsville, we feel as though we have some of it all, especially education. Along with the education factors, how about some of the other things that make a student well-rounded? Things like one-act plays, drama, baseball, softball, or football. At Hawkinsville High School, it's about the total package. There's nothing like a Friday night at Bobby Gentry Stadium with a big red marching machine playing the Washington and Lee Swing. Go Red Devils!
For all your tax needs and IRS e-file in Middle Georgia, it's Lester's Income Tax Service at 99 Commerce Street, Hawkinsville. Call 478-783-1650. Best of luck, Red Devils.
I walk the mean streets of Atlanta in a police uniform. That gives me an important perspective most lawyers can't give you. If you find yourself in a tough situation leading to an arrest, remember, your best bet for a good defense is to remain completely respectful but quiet. I can't stress that enough. And call me as soon as you possibly can. I'm David Venable. Call me.
The big city lawyer with small town shine. David Venable, attorney at law. Broad Street, Hawkinsville. Call 478-783-2825.
The answer to your insurance needs is simple. The Grimsley Agency. No matter your needs, life, auto, or home, it's the Grimsley Agency. You can trust Danny Grimsley and his staff with great coverage for your whole family. New car or home, the answer is the same. The Grimsley Agency. Give them a call at 783-2581 or see them at 203 Commerce Street, Hawkinsville. Proud supporters of all Red Devil athletics.
This is the river.
Welcome back into the Steakhouse Restaurant Saturday Morning Quarterback Show. As we continue, back to the phone lines we go. The line was now Coach Dean Fabrizio, Lee County. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, Coach, it's always our pleasure. Glad to have you with us. A big game last night with the Warner Robins Demons and a good victory for y'all.
Yes, it's the 4th year in a row we've played these guys. Of course, everybody knows what incredible run they've been on, 6 straight trips to the state finals. They've won 2 of the last 3 state championships in 5A, and so we've had this non-region rivalry with them now going on year 4. And we got down big at halftime. We're down, I think, 16. Well, not big, but down 16-7. But our kids fought really. We challenged them at halftime, and they came out, really fought in the second half, and were able to come away with a 26-19 victory over a really good Warner Robins team.
Coach, that kind of matchup is one that the fans love to see, and week 3 or 4 of the playoffs to open the season with one like this. I have to imagine that place was absolutely packed to the gills.
Yeah, it was a great atmosphere, no doubt. Great atmosphere. We try to schedule tough teams. In our non-region, a couple of weeks we've got Colquitt County. We've got to go to Moultrie. So, we feel helps prepare us for region play in the playoffs. And, our kids and our community like playing in big games, and we've certainly got a bunch this year.
Coach, kind of break down the game a little bit last night for us, and let's talk a little bit about, what playmakers you have this year.
Yeah, well, it started out rough. They kicked off to us. They kind of squid the opening kickoff. We had trouble getting on it, and they ended up recovering it. So that started the game off on a tough note for us, and they went up early because of that. So we were able to get a touchdown by Devin Collier on a run in the first half. Then second half, we came out. Defensively played much better in the second half. Usmani Kroma had 170-plus yards, 2 touchdowns, and we rushed for, I think, 293 as a team between him, Devin Collier, and Braxton Honer, who all had touchdowns.
Coach, as you look forward to next week, Hateville Charter, you go from Warren Robins team that's a public school that's pretty stout to a Hateville Charter team that seems to get some of the best kids anywhere.
Well, Hateville Charter and Coach Gordon does a great job. They don't have does a great job. They don't have the things a lot of people have there, the facility-wise and that, but he does a great job still nonetheless. They've got great players. They're coming off a down year for them versus a very tough schedule, but we know they're going to be really tough, and they've got athletes all over the field, a lot of size. And, it's going to be another tough game for us.
Coach, looking at the layout of the season in front of you, your thoughts on your region this year?
Well, as always, Region 1 is going to be really tough. And like I always say, if you're in Region 1, no matter how many days are behind it, it's probably going to be the toughest or one of the toughest in that classification. And this year's no different. I mean, we've played in Region 1 forever now. It's always very competitive. It's always very strong, and we expect that to be the case again this year.
Coach, one final question. First game of the season, you come into the season and, you've got some little aches and pains from the summer workouts. How are y'all health-wise now?
For the most part, we're pretty healthy. Got a couple of guys, a little bruised up but able to play, but for the most, knock on wood, no major injuries so far, and came out of last night with very, very healthy as well, so that's always a good thing.
Well, Coach, as always, it's a pleasure to talk to you. Have a great weekend, and we hope to get you back on the Steakhouse Restaurant Saturday morning quarterback in the weeks to come.
I appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Anytime, Coach. Thanks.
Bye.
Coach Dean Fabrizio, Lee County, and Lee County was just another mediocre team, to be honest, until he took over.
They have had. You're right. They started that program started up when he started getting really good when he got there, and they are one of the top programs in the whole state right now. And to beat, like you said, a team that's been to 6 straight state championships, and I was at that game last year when they played in Warren Robins against Lee County, and they got some dudes, man. They got some dudes, and they're well coached.
They do. I mean, when you look at Lee County, they are becoming one of those staples when you think about high school football.
Yeah, they got a running back over there I think you're going to see playing on Saturdays here next year.
Well, we saw a receiver that we know is going to be playing on Saturdays.
Unfortunately, he's going to be playing for the bad guys.
You're listening to the Steakhouse Restaurant Saturday morning quarterback show here on the XL Sports Network. We'll be back with more after these messages. Stay tuned.
When I say Hawkinsville Dispatch and News, few things pop into your mind. Community involvement, community awareness, covering what matters to the people of Pulaski County and serving the area since 1866. However, it is much more than that. It's office supplies for home, business, or school. It's also your headquarters for large print copies for all your business and construction needs. So when you need a copy of your construction plans, no need to go out of town. See Chuck and his staff. You may call today, 783-1291, or see him at 329 Commerce Street, Hawkinsville. Hawkinsville Dispatch and News, serving the finest people in the world since 1866.
For over 50 years, the Steakhouse Restaurant has been a tradition in Hawkinsville, just like the great tradition of the Hawkinsville Red Devils and their 6 state championships in football. Lewis Fowler and the staff at the Steakhouse Restaurant invite you to stop by for the daily lunch buffet and the special Thursday night buffet, and don't forget the $8.99 daily specials. Go by and see Lewis Fowler and the staff at the Steakhouse Restaurant on the Highway 341 bypass on top of the hill in Hawkinsville. Go Red Devils!
When moving to a new community, what are some things you look for? Clean neighborhoods, hospital, cost of living, a good grocery store, or is it education? In Hawkinsville, we feel as though we have some of it all, especially education. Along with the education factors, how about some of the other things that make a student well-rounded? Things like one-act plays, drama, baseball, softball, or football. At Hawkinsville High School, it's about the total package. There's nothing like a Friday night at Bobby Gentry Stadium with a big red marching machine playing the Washington and Lee Swing. Go Red Devils! For all your tax needs and IRS e-file in Middle Georgia, it's Lester's Income Tax Service at 99 Commerce Street, Hawkinsville. Call 478-783-1650. Best of luck, Red Devils.
I walk the mean streets of Atlanta in a police uniform. That gives me an important perspective most lawyers can't give you. If you find yourself in a tough situation leading to an arrest, remember, your best bet for a good defense is to remain completely respectful but quiet. I can't stress that enough. And call me as soon as you possibly can. I'm David Venable. Call me.
The Big City Lawyer with Small Town Shine. David Venable, attorney at law, Broad Street, Hawkinsville. Call 478-783-2825.
The answer to your insurance needs is simple. The Grimsley Agency. No matter your needs, life, auto, or home, it's the Grimsley Agency. You can trust Danny Grimsley and his staff with great coverage for your whole family. New car or home, the answer is the same. The Grimsley Agency. Give them a call at 783-2581 or see them at 203 Commerce Street, Hawkinsville. Proud supporters of all Red Devil athletics.
This is the river.
Oh, no, he's dancing. That's not good.
Hey, love the music, man.
Oh, absolutely. I do, too.
I guess that horse died.
Well, no, a lot of hard...
to shoot him, Bruce.
lot of hard work by Greg Grantham.
And I paid Greg $25.
Updated a lot of the music in there. We're getting the horse put back in there, trust me.
No. I'll have to go up to 50.
It's coming back. It's coming back, trust me.
The horse got shot. Broke a leg. He's dead, Bruce.
Guys, some of the other games last night, I don't know if we got a chance to kind of talk about them a little bit. Clinch County, 35-14 win over Berrien. I tell you, I'm expecting at any time to Clinch to break out and have a great season.
They got to be. Clinch is one of those teams like Irwin County and, with the teams that were traditionally, like Brooks County. They're always there. It's just the way that ball bounces sometimes.
Yeah, and I expect it to start bouncing away. A big win, we kind of mentioned it earlier. East Lawrence defeated Washington Wilkes 35-14.
That was a big win.
Coach Ben Turner doing a heck of a job over at East Lawrence, and I tell you, that program's getting better every day, and I'm excited about what they're doing right now over there.
I am too. On the line with us, Evans coach, head coach Barrett Davis. Coach, welcome in.
Hey, thank you all for having me. It's always a pleasure being on the show.
Coach, tough loss last night. Tell us a little bit about what went right and basically the health of your team.
It was a good game. North Augusta had a good game plan, and we did too. It was a good defensive game, and our kids, we got a few young kids in a few spots. First half, we got to take care of the football a little better. We threw an interception and lost the fumble, and we drove all the way down the field. It was 7-7 at halftime, and we drive down the field after we get the ball back the second half, about 80 yards and get to the 1 yard line and couldn't punch it in. We ended up fumbling the ball, so that was a big play, but I'm proud of our kids. We marched 91 yards on a 2-minute drill with a 10th grade quarterback all the way down to the 1, and got in my opinion. But it is what it is as time expired. But we made some good plays, and we had 2 touchdowns called back that we didn't think was anything wrong with the play. But that's not our call, and our kids battled, and we knew it was tough going on the road, and we weren't going to get anything in our favor. So we felt we won the game everywhere but the scoreboard.
Yeah, sometimes we forget those officials are going through their first game of the season too, and it shows. You just never know. Sometimes it's just you wonder why things went the way they did. But you're right. 10th grade quarterback, growing pains, getting your system in. It's the makeup of your team. It's got to look good. You're moving the ball. It's just the small things now that you're working on, right?
That's right. From 2 weeks ago, playing a good quality opponent in Thompson in our scrimmage, and going to this game, we did a lot of things right. We moved the ball. We felt we imposed our will up front, and I mean we lined right up and just tried to mash it on offense, and we made some big pass plays that final play of the game or final drive of the game to get us down, and our defense forced 5 or 6 punts. So it was a fast-paced game. Both teams were heavier run-oriented than anything, but we felt that we have improved a lot over the 2 weeks, and we got a lot of guys who are real tight-knit, and they want to do good, and they're about a team and not about themselves, and that's going to help us, we think, down the road. We could have scheduled an easy non-region, but that wasn't going to get us ready for region, so, we scheduled a pretty tough gauntlet coming up.
Yeah, you can. We've seen teams in the past, and I'm not knocking anybody, so don't take it like that. But I've seen teams go, undefeated in non-region play, and all of a sudden hit region, and then it's a different story second half of the season, and that's what it is now. I mean, really, you're in preseason. That's what I tell people all the time. Yes, we want to win every game. Yes, we want to be the best on the field, but really, non-region is to get us ready for a region, because that's where it's at now. Like I said, you could be undefeated non-region and then go winless in region, and you're not going anywhere. And
that's right.
What you want is for your young players, which you've got a young quarterback. By the time you hit that 4th, 5th game of the season, he's not a young quarterback anymore. He's getting to be a how do you put this, knowledgeable leader on the field. And that's what you want for your players. No rookies at the end of the season. They've all played a season. So, and it sounds like that's what's happening. You got building stones, stepping stones going now for your team.
That's right. I mean, a couple of years before I got there, we were playing some teams that were not a real strength of the schedule, I guess would be the easiest way to put it. And then when we reclassed last year and everything, it was. We went out and got Thompson as a scrimmage game. We got North Augusta to get us ready. We got Strom Thurman, who went to the 3rd round last year and returned everybody. We got Burke County on the schedule to get us ready for the Effingham and Glens and Brunswick coming up in region play. So, and it paid off last year. Teams can look at trying to, go 8-2 to say they have a good team, but get bounced in the 1st round. And, and I've seen teams 5-0 and finish 5-5 in a regular season, as you were saying, to not even make playoffs. We care about getting good quality opponents that's going to make us better. That by the time we get to that 5th game when region starts, we're prepared and we're ready.
Tell us a little bit about your team. You've already touched on the fact that you got a 10th grade quarterbacks playing for you. Tell us a little bit about the makeup of your team. We don't have a huge senior class. I think we got 15, but we've got a running back, Rayshon King, who broke a 70-yarder last night. He had about 700 yards rushing last year. I mean, good-sized kid. Got a few Division I offers. Great player. He's done good. We got Jacob Jackson as our Mike linebacker, and he's also playing some H-back for us. Offensively, he's got 100-plus tackles 2 years in a row. Both of those guys are seniors. We've got Big Mason Short that everybody knows at left tackle that's 6'7", 300 pounds, going to Alabama, and he's only a junior. So those are kind of the bigger name guys, but we've got some guys that like Brandon Mimbs he's just a good high school player that runs it hard. Tyler Perry, one of our receivers, blocked his butt off last night. I mean, he literally took a kid 20 yards downfield, hands inside, and dumped him on the sideline as we broke a 70-yarder, and they called it back. He was going to the bus, right?
he was getting a little blindside last night, but we're based on a 4-2-5 on defense, and we're spread in multiple. We're 4 wide sometimes. We're tight end, H-back sometimes. But it's built around a run game and kind of just taking some. We've had a great quarterback for the past 6 years at Evans. It's been dual threat, and our guys working toward that kind of status. And but we got 2 guys that we roll in at quarterback, a junior and a sophomore, and they both did some great things last night. We just got to protect the ball a little bit better when we're scrambling in the pocket.
Well, that's what you want. You want to be able to play some good football, and you want to be able to teach your boys up so that they're ready and prepared for what really counts, which is region play. We got on the line with us Coach Barrett Davis, head coach at Evans. Coach, how what's the health of your team? I mean, everybody come out last night pretty much intact.
It was a war last night. Our guys fought hard. No major injuries or nothing. North Augusta, they had 2 kids collide at the end. We're praying for that young man. I think he just got a concussion, which is good, is what Coach Bush was telling me. But no, we're pretty healthy. I think we're fine. We didn't have any major injuries. We got to get in. We had some cramping like everybody last night.
Yeah.
As we kind of work in that, we just got to be smarter about what we're putting in our bodies during the week and kind of preparing for that a little bit better on our end as players and coaches during these hot months. Everybody's battling the same thing. So, but we're good overall.
I think when we went to Portal last night, we got out of the truck to walk up to the stands, and it was nice. It was just a little bit of a breeze. It wasn't too bad. And then it was like everybody – I don't think there was any air moving in the state of Georgia last night. It was like somebody put
That's right.
So, all right. Coach, you're off next week. Could take the week off, get your players ready to play the following week. Good luck. We hope to have you back on real soon.
Yes, sir. I appreciate y'all and everything y'all do for covering us and the state of Georgia in football, and it's always a blast being on. Thank y'all for having us.
Thank you, Coach. And we're going to take a break. I'm sorry. All right, let's go through some scores. I keep getting conflicting things over here, so we're going to go through some scores until I'm told no. Harrison 16-6 over South Paulding. River Ridge 9-6 over Hillgrove. North Paulding 28-17 over Altoona. Cartersville 27-14.
Okay, on the radio now, we got Coach Fev from Griffin. Coach, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing all right. Thank you. How are you doing?
We're doing good, Coach. Thanks for answering the phone. Man, had a tough game last night against Ola. Coach, early season, there's a lot of rust for everybody, including sometimes the officials. But go ahead and go through the game. Recap the game last night, if you would.
Well, we went up against a very well-coached Ola team. They've established their program. Coach come from Alabama, doing a good job what they're doing. I just got here at Griffin in January, trying to establish, changing the culture, establishing some discipline, and so we could put a good product on the field. So we playing a lot of young pups, a lot of young babies, and then they're getting a good opportunity to get some experience. And defense, we just got some stuff that we got to fix. We could do a better job, but we just got to do a better job of doing our job. But we get another week, and then hopefully come back and we bounce back and put a better start on next week.
Yeah, Coach, I used to live up in those parts in Pike County up there, and they take the football seriously in the Griffin area. That's a good program up there. It's been that's been a successful program for decades and decades and decades, and you got a target-rich environment up there. I'm sure you got some good players on your team. Can you go through your team and tell us about your personnel and who stands out? Who are your leaders?
So right now we're extremely young. We got the same amount of sophomores as we have as juniors and seniors put together. Right now we got about 13 seniors and 12 juniors, but we got 25 freshmen, about 32. We got 25 sophomores, about 32 freshmen. So therefore, just offensively, we're starting about 3-4 freshmen, a couple on offense, a couple on defense. So we're an extremely young team, but we do have some seniors that's standing out doing a good job. Defensive end, Raymond Mangham, number 33, he's doing a good job at the defensive end position. We have some linebackers that's stepping up, doing some excellent things, but also making some mental mistakes and doing some things incorrectly that we definitely could fix. But just some stuff we just got to work on. We're doing a new offense, a new defense, and we're just trying to put things together, putting pieces of the puzzle together. We're still shuffling a bit with personnel. Offensively, we got sophomore quarterback Trey Jones. We got two freshman dynamic slot receivers, Joy Cleveland and then Cordell Alexander. They're going to be extremely special for us They great. They remind me of Nate McCullough, a young man that I had at that time. And then we got about 3-4 running backs that can get the job done. Josh Parker, Marquell Colden, Kenneth Stevens. We got a couple of kids that got to play on both sides of the ball. So right now we're an extremely young team. We got a lot of sophomores in the game, a lot of juniors, only a few seniors. So we just got to get some notches underneath our belts, get some time underneath the lights, and we'll be fine.
Coach, that's pretty exciting. And from my experiences as a coach, when you have a young team and you go through some of those games like you had last night, you think about a journey, and you can look forward to what's coming. Getting those guys some experience and give them the buy-in to your culture, and the next thing you know, you're looking at them being juniors and seniors, and you're seeing, deep in the playoffs. So, Coach, that's something exciting. Coach, injury-wise, how are we doing early in the season? You got some injury news for us?
We had one young man that got hurt in the fall scrimmage. He's a contributor. He plays some receiving for us, and he also plays for safety for us. So we had him down. As of right now, he's still the only young man that's out for us, and we hope to get him back next week. So other than that, the injury bug has not bitten us yet. So therefore, hopefully we can stay away from the injury bug and just continue to improve and put a good product on the field week in and week out.
Coach, real quick, you got veterans coming up next week. What do you know about veterans? Anything?
Well, they beat Richmond Academy. They won their game 41-0. They're a good program. They do a lot of good things. They put a good product on the field. We just got to go out and play our best game, continue to put our best foot forward, and continue to just get better, and we'll see what Friday do for us. We got to do our math equation, which is Monday plus Tuesday plus Wednesday plus Thursday equals our Friday. So I'll be able to tell you Thursday what we're going to look like on Friday.
Okay, we got on the phone, we got Coach Clifford Fedd from Griffin Bears. Coach, thanks for joining us. Look forward to joining us in the future. Good luck going forward. Y'all have a great weekend.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, bud. Hey, what do you think? The Griffin Bears are young. That's encouraging. Young football team.
Yeah, it sounds like they got athletic players, and now it's his job to make that young athletic players, bring them up into a team. He's got to build now a young team. So I think we got scores coming up. Is that right? All right. Instead of scores, let's look at some Saturday night football. You got Lowndes and Christ School out of North Carolina playing. They play today. You have Cedar Grove and Dutchtown. I'm going to tell you, Cedar Grove, that's like a track team right there, buddy. They got speed galore.
Yep. Hey, Dutchtown's not too bad either. They had a guy named Will Anderson come through there.
But they better be fast. And then you got Stevenson playing Lithia Springs today. Riverdale out of South Carolina is playing North Clayton. Stockbridge and Douglas County are playing. Sandy Creek and Union are playing. Jones County and Northside Warner Robins play today.
Ooh, that's gonna be a good one right there.
I'd like to be at that game.
Man, if my wife wasn't coming back in town, if I was by myself now, I'd go and see that game.
Hey, if I didn't have yard work to do, I'd be going with you.
I might wear purple in that game.
I'm not. I
ain't gonna wear no blue. I can't do no blue and orange.
I know where you're coming from, Coach. I know where you're coming from,
Sorry
Coach. So I understand it. That's just things that happen. But you got Newton and Hapville playing today. That ought to be a good one. And then Northeast and Mary Persons. Mary Persons they're a team that's been on the cusp. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're right there. They just need to push through like that ceiling that they have. But they can play some good football.
Reminds me a lot of Griffin, that program. Those two programs are very similar, and they're not too far apart. But very good history, very good program history there. They say that tradition never graduates, and man, I'm sure they'll be doing fine this year.
Yeah. Looking real quick at some scores, 41-7 Wheeler County over Georgia Military. We were talking about that game on the way home. GMC was picked to win that game. And I forgot Bruce doesn't have his headset on, so I can't ask him. But he was telling us, they were picked to win that game, and we're not knocking anybody, folks. We never would. We love all our athletes and our programs, but yeah, that was a surprise. I figured it'd be a lot closer than what it was. Tatnall.
That's right. Sometimes, and hey, listen, there were a lot of people picking Texas A&M to win the SEC West last year.
And then you got Bowden and Manchester, 21-20. I mean, Manchester comes out on top. Manchester's a good team. Bowden's a good team also.
Yeah.
And then you got Tatnall Square and Sly County. Sly County is one of those teams we've talked about a lot recently. Once their athletes started buying into the football program, Sly County's come out. They are a perennial playoff team now. They always had that the big line and were a physical team, but they are actually one of the better teams in single A football in the state of Georgia right now.
Instead of only baseball.
Yeah, that's really it. Yeah. New football coach comes in. Part of his agreement is, hey, I got to have athletes, and they bought into it. So, I got the windmill going over here. All right, we got a break coming up. You're listening to Saturday Morning Quarterback Show.
Dive into the river.
When I say Hawkinsville Dispatch and News, few things pop into your mind. Community involvement, community awareness, covering what matters to the people of Pulaski County and serving the area since 1866. However, it is much more than that. It's office supplies for home, business, or school. It's also your headquarters for large print copies for all your business and construction needs. So when you need a copy of your construction plans, no need to go out of town. See Chuck and his staff. You may call today, 783-1291, or see them at 329 Commerce Street, Hawkinsville. Hawkinsville Dispatch and News, serving the finest people in the world since 1866.
For over 50 years, the steakhouse restaurant has been a tradition in Hawkinsville, just like the great tradition of the Hawkinsville Red Devils and their 6 state championships in football. Lewis Fowler and the staff at the steakhouse restaurant invite you to stop by for the daily lunch buffet and the special Thursday night buffet, and don't forget the $8.99 daily specials. Go by and see Lewis Fowler and the staff at the steakhouse restaurant on the Highway 341 bypass on top of the hill in Hawkinsville. Go Red Devils!
When moving to a new community, what are some things you look for? Clean neighborhoods, hospital, cost of living, a good grocery store, or is it education? In Hawkinsville, we feel as though we have some of it all, especially education. Along with the education factors, how about some of the other things that make a student well-rounded? Things like one-act plays, drama, baseball, softball, or football. At Hawkinsville High School, it's about the total package. There's nothing like a Friday night at Bobby Gentry Stadium with a big red marching machine playing the Washington and Lee Swing. Go Red Devils! For all your tax needs and IRS e-file in Middle Georgia, it's Lester's Income Tax Service at 99 Commerce Street, Hawkinsville. Call 478-783-1650. Best of luck, Red Devils.
I walk the mean streets of Atlanta in a police uniform. That gives me an important perspective most lawyers can't give you. If you find yourself in a tough situation leading to an arrest, remember, your best bet for a good defense is to remain completely respectful but quiet. I can't stress that enough. And call me as soon as you possibly can. I'm David Venable. Call me.
The big city lawyer with small town charm. David Venable, attorney at law, Broad Street, Hawkinsville. Call 478-783-2825.
The answer to your insurance needs is simple. The Grimsley Agency. No matter your needs, life, auto, or home, it's the Grimsley Agency. You can trust Danny Grimsley and his staff with great coverage for your whole family. New car or home, the answer is the same. The Grimsley Agency. Give them a call at 783-2581 or see them at 203 Commerce Street, Hawkinsville. Proud supporters of all Red Devil athletics.
This is the river.
You're listening to the Saturday Morning Quarterback Show, sponsored by the Steakhouse Restaurant, the best food in Middle Georgia, best fried chicken in Middle Georgia. And Bruce is over there. He's kind of listening in and doing his thing. And But yeah, if you're hungry, wait till after the show. We'll go get you something to eat.
Are you going in?
All right. Back to the phone lines we go. We got Coach Brian Lamar from South Gwinnett. Coach, how you doing this morning?
Doing good, brother.
Man, I bet you are. 42 win last night over Pebblebrook. Coach, great win, opened the season. Tell us a little bit about the game last night.
Got off to a fast start. Took a 28-0 lead. Got some stops early defensively and got a couple of big plays in special teams and some explosive plays offensively, and was rolling pretty good there. And then we give up a RPO slant for a touchdown before the half, and we go into halftime 28-7. And I thought we came the second half really flat. They come out, they hit a wheel route for a touchdown. They cut it to 28-14. We come back with a big play, to go up 35-14. And then I felt like we had a couple of injuries and guys got tired and we didn't finish as strong as we wanted to in the third quarter and kind of put the game away. And they kept fighting. It was a hard-fought game, and we ended up scoring a touchdown late to go up, 42-27 and pull it out.
Man, that's great, Coach. Early in the season, there's a lot of rust. We got to knock rust off, and as coaches, we also I used to be a coach. We also have a lot of rust in our play calling and the way we process the game. The officials have rust on them too, so everybody's kind of feeling things out. So learning from what the game was, you break down the huddle and you start looking at what you're doing going forward. Coach, can you tell us what the game plan may be going forward?
Well, I thought we had a good game plan. I thought the kids, I don't think we executed as well when we got tired. That's the difference in preseason stuff, practice. When you get out there in the games, you got guys playing offense and defense and special teams, and everything's happening so fast. I thought we got fatigued in the second half and didn't make great decisions, whether throwing the ball or blocking the right person or running the right routes or covering the right guy or handling motion or maintaining your gap. And so it's things it's going to take time for us to get better at going through the process of the season. But game plan-wise, I thought we had a good plan. I thought the coaches did a good job of putting some stuff together. Obviously, there's always things you wish you could do a little bit better, but from overall, I thought we had a good plan, and we just got to continue to work our kids and continue to get better every week and climb that ladder.
Yeah. Coach, tell us a little bit about your team, your players, who are your standout players, some of your leaders on the team. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
We're blessed, man. We got a really good team. Our quarterback threw the ball well last night. He's doing well. We got two receivers that really tore it up last night, and our running back Jay Applin did a great job as well. So offensively, we've got a good group. We've got two offensive tackles that's committed to D1 schools. Marcus Mascow's committed to Florida, and Isaiah Taylor's committed to Liberty. And so we've got very explosive guys. We just got to continue to get better from an offensive standpoint in terms of just executing down the stretch. Defensively, we got a corner committed to Virginia. We got another corner committed to East Carolina, and then we've got 10 seniors in our 24 class that have FBS offers. So as a group, we've got a really good group, and our junior class is good as well. But the main thing for us is just playing together. AJ Pickford, who was probably our best defensive player for sure, tore his ACL in Game 5 last year. So last night was his first game, really playing. He played a little bit in the scrimmage, and so he did some great stuff. He thought he got tired a little bit, but as the season goes on, he's going to continue to be a complete minute for us. And Million McKenzie at middle linebacker did a lot of good things last night as well. So we got a good group. We just got to continue to work and get better.
Coach, you got about 30 seconds left. Looking forward, you got Meadow Creek coming up this week. Can you tell us anything about them at all?
Well, Todd Walford always going to have a good group. He's put some good stuff together. Offense, I know they struggled a little bit last night, but I know he's going to get those guys better. He's going to have a quarterback that can throw it and some receivers that can catch it. And I know they've made some changes on defense, so they're going to be a big challenge for us. They're going to come out this week. They're going to compete, and we got to figure out a way to continue to get better and tighten up on some of the things that we weren't great at last week.
Coach Brian Lanier with us from South Gwinnett. Coach, thanks for joining us. Look forward to talking to you again in the future.
Yes, sir, brother. Anytime.
Okay, thank you. We'll take a break here on the XL Sports Network.
When I say Hawkinsville Dispatch and News, few things pop into your mind. Community involvement, community awareness, covering what matters to the people of Pulaski County and serving the area since 1866. However, it is much more than that. It's office supplies for home, business, or school. It's also your headquarters for large print copies for all your business and construction needs. So when you need a copy of your construction plans, no need to go out of town. See Chuck and his staff. You may call today, 783-1291, or see them at 329 Commerce Street, Hawkinsville. Hawkinsville Dispatch and News, serving the finest people in the world since 1866.
For over 50 years, the steakhouse restaurant has been a tradition in Hawkinsville, just like the great tradition of the Hawkinsville Red Devils and their 6 state championships in football. Lewis Fowler and the staff at the steakhouse restaurant invite you to stop by for the daily lunch buffet and the special Thursday night buffet, and don't forget the $8.99 daily specials. Go by and see Lewis Fowler and the staff at the steakhouse restaurant on the Highway 341 bypass on top of the hill in Hawkinsville. Go Red Devils!
Moving to a new community, what are some things you look for? Clean neighborhoods, hospital, cost of living, a good grocery store, or is it education? In Hawkinsville, we feel as though we have some of it all, especially education. Along with the education factors, how about some of the other things that make a student well-rounded? Things like one-act plays, drama, baseball, softball, or football. At Hawkinsville High School, it's about the total package. There's nothing like a Friday night at Bobby Gentry Stadium with a big red marching machine playing the Washington and Lee Swing. Go Red Devils! For all your tax needs and IRS e-file in Middle Georgia, it's Lester's Income Tax Service at 99 Commerce Street, Hawkinsville. Call 478-783-1650. Best of luck, Red Devils.
I walk the mean streets of Atlanta in a police uniform. That gives me an important perspective most lawyers can't give you. If you find yourself in a tough situation leading to an arrest, remember, your best bet for a good defense is to remain completely respectful but quiet. I can't stress that enough. And call me as soon as you possibly can. I'm David Venable. Call me.
The Big City Lawyer with Small Town Shine. David Venable, attorney at law, Broad Street, Hawkinsville. Call 478-783-2825.
The answer to your insurance needs is simple. The Grimsley Agency. No matter your needs, life, auto, or home, it's the Grimsley Agency. You can trust Danny Grimsley and his staff with great coverage for your whole family. New car or home, the answer is the same. The Grimsley Agency. Give them a call at 783-2581 or see them at 203 Commerce Street, Hawkinsville. Proud supporters of all Red Devil athletics.
This is the river.
Welcome back into Saturday Morning Quarterback Show, sponsored by the Steakhouse Restaurant. Guys, if you haven't been to the Steakhouse Restaurant, you're missing a good thing. They got some of the best food you'll ever put in your mouth. Voted the best fried chicken in Georgia. Hamburger steaks. I know Bruce is his favorite's hamburger steak. You know, it's amazing. I don't know who eats out there more, me and Bruce. Every time I go out there, he's picking up something. So, yeah. So, I mean, it is what it is. And ready to talk some college football. Who do we have on the line?
We have the one and only John Nelson.
Award-winning John Nelson.
John, I was just telling these guys, you and my son have something in common.
Don't start. He's going to do it right off the bat.
You guys, yeah, exactly. I'm going to go ahead and get it out of the way. You guys have a piece of paper that indicates that you spend a lot of time and money in Tallahassee.
No, that's true. That is accurate. Well, but actually, I would probably venture to say that my length of time in Tallahassee is shorter than people might think, because I got out of school in 2 years and 9 months.
Oh, well, good. Yeah, he was only there for 3 years, and he's going to stay there and work with the FGLE, and I don't know what he's going to do, so we'll see. How you doing?
He's going to make sure that the planet is safe from people like me.
Yeah, exactly. He's got that criminology degree, so we'll see what happens. What happens with that? And he's turned himself into a Seminole fan. You know, he was a big Georgia fan growing up, and I think he still is. But he said to me the other day, his dad, if Georgia and Florida State ever play in the national championship, I got to pull for Florida State. I said, well, that's okay.
I just hope he's not holding his breath.
Oh, come on, John. Come on,
hey, I told Eddie last night. I said, last year I told you guys Hugh Freeze is coming to Auburn, and he's going to do some good stuff there. And Eddie thought I was smoking crack, and
still do.
And I think I told you that I think Mike Norvell is going to do something good at Tallahassee, and I still think that. I think this year, huh?
Leave?
Yeah. Well, hey, listen.
Is that the good thing that Mike Norvell is going to do in Tallahassee is leave?
Yeah. Hey, I tell you what, though, if you can forget about the end of that North Carolina State game last night, or not last night, but last year, you can forget about that, then, it'd be a lot better. It's tough to get that, isn't it?
I've not been a fan of Norvell since he walked in the door, but I give my administration credit for having the patience to let him cook, and I think that that's the biggest thing. These days, you don't see a whole lot of administrations, short of maybe 2 years. What have you done for me lately? Kind of a thing. I mean, Florida State has been patient with Norvell, and you've seen what he's been able to do with the program. Like I said, I just have not been a fan of him since he walked in the door.
Yeah, we'll see what happens this year. It's going to be interesting. I got them picked to go to the playoff this year. That's my pick. I think
I will defer to you and your judgment, and the boss will be more than happy to sit there and laugh at me when it does happen.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to know right off the bat when they take on LSU. That's going to be one of the best games of the season. So, hey, we're up against a hard break. We'll be back in
XL Sports Network.
You listen.
This is the River.
Say Hawkinsville Dispatch and News, few things pop into your mind. Community involvement, community awareness, covering what matters to the people of Pulaski County and serving the area since 1866. However, it is much more than that. It's office supplies for home, business, or school. It's also your headquarters for large print copies for all your business and construction needs. So when you need a copy of your construction plans, no need to go out of town. See Chuck and his staff. You may call today, 783-1291, or see them at 329 Commerce Street, Hawkinsville. Hawkinsville Dispatch and News, serving the finest people in the world since 1866.
For over 50 years, the steakhouse restaurant has been a tradition in Hawkinsville, just like the great tradition of the Hawkinsville Red Devils and their 6 state championships in football. Lewis Fowler and the staff at the steakhouse restaurant invite you to stop by for the daily lunch buffet and the special Thursday night buffet, and don't forget the $8.99 daily specials. Go by and see Lewis Fowler and the staff at the steakhouse restaurant on the Highway 341 bypass on top of the hill in Hawkinsville. Go Red Devils!
When moving to a new community, what are some things you look for? Clean neighborhoods, hospital, cost of living, a good grocery store, or is it education? In Hawkinsville, we feel as though we have some of it all, especially education. Along with the education factors, how about some of the other things that make a student well-rounded? Things like one-act plays, drama, baseball, softball, or football. At Hawkinsville High School, it's about the total package. There's nothing like a Friday night at Bobby Gentry Stadium with a big red marching machine playing the Washington and Lee Swing. Go Red Devils!
For all your tax needs and IRS e-file in Middle Georgia, it's Lester's Income Tax Service at 99 Commerce Street, Hawkinsville. Call 478-783-1650. Best of luck, Red Devils.
I walk the mean streets of Atlanta in a police uniform. That gives me an important perspective most lawyers can't give you. If you find yourself in a tough situation leading to an arrest, remember, your best bet for a good defense is to remain completely respectful but quiet. I can't stress that enough. And call me as soon as you possibly can. I'm David Venable. Call me.
The big city lawyer with small town charm. David Venable, attorney at law. Broad Street, Hawkinsville. Call 478-783-2825.
The answer to your insurance needs is simple. The Grimsley Agency. No matter your needs, life, auto, or home, it's the Grimsley Agency. You can trust Danny Grimsley and his staff with great coverage for your whole family. New car or home, the answer is the same. The Grimsley Agency. Give them a call at 783-2581 or see them at 203 Commerce Street, Hawkinsville. Proud supporters of all Red Devil athletics.
This is the river.
Welcome back in to Saturday Morning Quarterback Show. We're talking some college football. On the line with us is Coach John Nelson. You are our coach, John.
Yeah, the coach of journalism, and if that's the case, we're all in trouble.
Don't insult him by calling him a coach.
Yeah. Well, usually
I have coaches actually come up to me and they'll address me as coach. That's just that's part of the deal. Their coaches are used to talking to other coaches, and so they'll come up to me and go, "Hey, what's going on, Coach?"
It's you've been around high school football for so long, and
yes, movable type. Me and Anton Van Leeuwenhoek went the beginning of movable type and black and white television. Exactly correct.
Yeah. Usually at this time we're talking top 25 games of the week, and there are no games of the week. I mean, let's face it, college football doesn't start until next Saturday, and usually we got 10 or 11 games. I think we're down to 6 now, so I just thought we'd bounce around and just talk college football in general. I was talking to my buddy over there, Chuck, and we talked last night about it. And he said, "What are we going to talk about?" And I said, "Let's talk what everybody's talking about. Power 5.
Galactic realignment.
Conference realignment.
The Pac-4.
Pac-4.
Yes, the
Pac-4.
Pac-4.
Power 5 going to be the Power 3. I mean, it's all over the place this year.
Yeah, and I think the biggest element in all of this is we were sitting here thinking that the Pac-12-4 is dead on arrival, and now they're trying to take schools from the American to get into the Midwestern footprint, and the Mountain West is sitting there saying, we've got 12, and they're thinking that 16 is a good number for the Mountain West as the Mountain West tries to come in from Lane 8 and work their way into a Power 5 discussion, and and what do you think? What do you think Greg Sankey's been doing with all this chatter, all these schools that are sitting there and saying, well, we'll go here, we'll go here, we'll go here. What do you think? Every morning Greg Sankey goes to work in Birmingham, and he gets his morning cup of coffee, or he gets his tea, or he gets whatever, and he just kind of kicks back in his chair, puts his feet up on the table, sits there, and he's looking at everybody else, doing what they think they need to do, and he's just kind of chilling, going, okay, we'll let things settle down a little bit, and then if we want to go any further, we want to go to 18, or we want to go to whatever, then I'll pounce. He's just been kind of sitting there and being chill this whole time, waiting for everything to fall before he sits there and he pulls two or four more properties into the SEC.
Well, I'm sorry, Eddie. The SEC footprint it sells itself, so you don't really have to go outside that.
Well, the thing is,
it just means more.
We've got the blueprint now of what you do not do. I mean, think about Pac-12. Pac-4. They were sitting there a year ago. Oh, we don't need to do anything. We're set and all that. And all of a sudden, he's probably thinking, my job's gone.
Well, yeah, George Kliavkoff, the commissioner of the Pac-4.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, from what I understand from the stories that I've been reading, you had an offer on the table from the 4-letter. for like $30 million a school.
Yeah.
Then Kliavkov apparently had discussions with some folks on campuses, and presidents consulted professors, and professors who they might have been econ professors, not necessarily professors that had any knowledge of how athletics falls into television contracts. They were like, no, you're worth 50. And so you have someone who's not tied to athletics, who's a professor at a school, at an unnamed school, sit there and say, yeah, you're worth 50. And so then, of course, that means that particular university president sits there and says, no, we're worth 50. And ESPN's like, well, no, you're worth 30. And then the Pac-12 at the time was like, well, nah, we're cool. And ESPN pulls the offer off the table. And then you end up with this deal from Apple that was going to be like in the 20s because they waited so long. And you're talking like 2 or 3 weeks before the season starts. Apple sits there and says, okay, we'll give you one that's like 20 and one that has to do with the base of your subscribers. And it's a deal that doesn't match even the Major League Soccer deal that is, like a per subscriber, and that will help you out in that particular element. And so the Pacific Conference, and however many you want to refer to them as, 12, 4, whatever number in between, they completely thought too much of themselves and waited too long for any kind of a discussion on the matter. They didn't give themselves any kind of a runway if things were going to go wrong, and they did, and so now this is where they are.
Yep. And what's shame is, Eddie and I were talking about this last night, I think this year is probably, going into the season, is the most interesting year, at least from my standpoint, for the Pac, pick your number, in their competition.
Mm-hmm.
I think this year is going to be a good season for those guys out there. I think it's going to be. I'm excited to watch some of those games. Usually, you don't really get excited watching those games.
No, and you're looking at like a USC to try to figure out if they're going to be a part of the discussion for the playoff or something like that. And so, of course, the irony that's attached to the whole thing, where it's the last year that the big names are a part of it before they drift into other conferences. And so, yeah, the last year of the Pac relevancy ends up being what it is, and then you end up with where you are right now. I mean, is this going to make sure that I can go and look at a game at a massively early kickoff? I don't know how interested I'm going to be in it, but we'll see what happens as the season goes along, especially at USC.
John, we got to take a break. We'll be
XO
back.
Sports Network.
Hawkinsville Dispatch and News. Few things pop into your mind. Community involvement, community awareness, covering what matters to the people of Pulaski County and serving the area since 1866. However, it is much more than that. It's office supplies for home, business, or school. It's also your headquarters for large print copies for all your business and construction needs. So when you need a copy of your construction plans, no need to go out of town. See Chuck and his staff. You may call today, 783-1291, or see them at 329 Commerce Street, Hawkinsville. Hawkinsville Dispatch and News, serving the finest people in the world since 1866.
For over 50 years, the steakhouse restaurant has been a tradition in Hawkinsville, just like the great tradition of the Hawkinsville Red Devils and their 6 state championships in football. Lewis Fowler and the staff at the steakhouse restaurant invite you to stop by for the daily lunch buffet and the special Thursday night buffet, and don't forget the $8.99 daily specials. Go by and see Lewis Fowler and the staff at the steakhouse restaurant on the Highway 341 bypass on top of the hill in Hawkinsville. Go Red Devils!
To a new community, what are some things you look for? Clean neighborhoods, hospital, cost of living, a good grocery store, or is it education? In Hawkinsville, we feel as though we have some of it all, especially education. Along with the education factors, how about some of the other things that make a student well-rounded? Things like one-act plays, drama, baseball, softball, or football. At Hawkinsville High School, it's about the total package. There's nothing like a Friday night at Bob's
Bobby Gentry Stadium with a big red marching machine playing the Washington and Lee Swing. Go Red Devils! For all your tax needs and IRS e-file in Middle Georgia, it's Lester's Income Tax Service at 99 Commerce Street, Hawkinsville. Call 478-783-1650. Best of luck, Red Devils.
I walk the mean streets of Atlanta in a police uniform. That gives me an important perspective most lawyers can't give you. If you find yourself in a tough situation leading to an arrest, remember, your best bet for a good defense is to remain completely respectful but quiet. I can't stress that enough. And call me as soon as you possibly can. I'm David Venable. Call me.
The Big City Lawyer with Small Town Chime. David Venable, attorney at law. Broad Street, Hawkinsville. Call 478-783-2825.
The answer to your insurance needs is simple. The Grimsley Agency. No matter your needs, life, auto, or home, it's the Grimsley Agency. You can trust Danny Grimsley and his staff with great coverage for your whole family. New car or home, the answer is the same. The Grimsley Agency. Give them a call at 783-2581 or see them at 203 Commerce Street, Hawkinsville. Proud supporters of all Red Devil athletics.
This is the river.
Welcome back in Saturday Morning Quarterback Show. On the line with us is John Nelson. We're talking a little bit of college.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, talking a little bit of college football. You know, we talked about realignment. Nobody really knows what's going to happen with the Pac-12.
Pick your number.
Yeah, I mean, we just don't know. Let's move over some to preseason rankings, and we know that preseason rankings really don't matter either.
No, they don't.
You know, but it's kind of ironic. I'm looking at it, and
does the AP matter anyway?
Well, no.
No.
You got Georgia ranked.
Not until week 6.
Yeah, really. You got Georgia ranked number 1, Michigan number 2, Ohio State number 3,
Michigan,
Alabama 4. Michigan has not proven themselves enough to be at number 2.
No.
I'm not going to say what I want to say about the coach. LSU rolls out number 5. USC, you know, they're one of the teams I want to watch this year. Washington's another. They're in the top 10. Does Florida State make a move up, or do they start moving back down? You got Clemson. I never thought I'd see today Florida State. Well, I take that back. I'm old enough to remember. So I do know Florida State has been ranked above Clemson. But
yes, I'm right there with you.
But, you know, it's just kind of odd to see Florida State at number 8, Clemson at number 9. That's kind of there. And then you got the greatest ranking
the other orange
team is Texas. They're sitting there, you know, at number 11. I don't know about Texas. You know, they
No, I don't either.
The money buys the ranking, I guess. Tennessee is one I want to watch, you know, as they shift to a new quarterback and you know,
Well, he's new, but he's not new because remember Milton got his reps.
Yeah, he got his reps. I mean, he's been around. He's a good quarterback. It's just can he stay the course and can Tennessee move up? Because that's really, you know, from everything I'm seeing, you know, Georgia's got all the accolades. Alabama, you know, they're Alabama, but really, if you want to pick a couple of dark horses, you're looking at Tennessee and LSU and the SEC.
Can I say something?
But are they really dark horses, though?
You skipped over one that I think that everybody's overlooking, I guess, and that's in the Big Ten, and that's Penn State. I think Penn State's going to be the team at least in the Big Ten East, that's probably going to come out, and people are going to be surprised at the end of the season what they do, I think.
I think that it's jumbled. Like I said, you know, Chuck and I talked about it, Georgia and Alabama. It's kind of like they've shifted roles. It's Alabama lived and feasted on 5-star ranking players, and now Georgia's getting them. Alabama used to be the team that they walked out there and they're like a well-oiled machine, and now they're making the mistakes that Georgia did, you know, before the present coaching staff. Georgia's cleaned up their act, and they're, you know, national championships. So Alabama and Georgia's kind of flipped. It's not like Saban's forgot how to coach. It's just, are you starting to see the end of Saban as a coach at Alabama?
You go ahead and turn that topic into Tuscaloosa radio and see what happens.
No, I would not dare.
Yeah.
I would rather
and you go ahead and make sure that Nick Saban's radio's turned up real loud at that home on the lake, and have Miss Terry sit there and say, "Hey, this is what they're saying about you."
Yeah, well,
coming from an Auburn guy, we'll see what happens.
I'm not going to say that. You know, I'd rather say something about Auburn beating the crap out of them this year, which you know we could do it. You know.
Well, the boss would be happy about that too. You know.
Well, the Plain and the Plains, not called that upset, by the way.
Yeah.
If anybody can do it, I think Hugh Freeze. He's done it before.
Well, and then you got Notre Dame down at 13.
Whatever.
Never heard of it.
I mean, the top 25 has got a lot of new names in it. There's a lot of names that have slid. It's kind of topsy-turvy, and we've already said, you know, it really doesn't mean anything. But if you look at the teams on there, who is going to be the one that has your breakout team? I mean, has the
breakout?
Yeah,
I think that this is probably one of your more chalky years, to be honest with you. And I think that USC and Washington will sort themselves out. And I think that USC will be the one that comes through from your Western precincts. I'm not all that sold on Michigan. I would have Penn State ahead of Michigan, but I would also have Ohio State ahead of both.
Yeah.
You know, the SEC for me, you're going to have the discussion of at least, you know, a good half dozen teams sit there and try to figure out, okay, what do we do? I mean, Georgia, Tennessee, LSU, Alabama, that's 4. And then, you know, somebody's going to probably sneak up and try to sit there and go, hey, don't forget about us. So you know that there's going to be 4 SEC that are a part of the discussion. Clemson and Florida State will sort themselves out, and that 5th team, or that team from the ACC will be one of your 5 that you talked about. USC out of the Pac-4 will be one that you talk about. And so that's 6. And then you end up with Ohio State and Penn State ahead of Michigan. So that's 8/9. And I mean, it's the same round of dudes, you know, and it's just in a different order. So where Georgia and Alabama are concerned, it's, you know, right now, quoting one of the great orators of this or any other era, Richard Fleer, to be the man, you've got to beat the man. And so far, Georgia has not been beaten in a situation to determine a national champion 2 years running. Yeah. And it'll be the same with them at 3 years running. And so this is just what you're seeing with Kirby is what you've seen with Nick Saban in the past. Yeah. It's just that the cycle has shifted. And I think that you look at, you know, Kirby, and Nick Saban has said, I've taught him everything he knows. I haven't taught him everything I know. And I think that's where we are with Georgia and Alabama.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's just they got to clean. Alabama just needs to clean up a few things. I think that there's some things that, you know, penalties is one thing. Huge thing. I mean, they've been bitten by that several times. I mean, look at the Tennessee game. You know,
Texas game too.
Yeah,
because all you have to do is look at the fit that Nick Saban does on the sidelines when he's wearing his headset, and he's screaming at everyone and no one in particular. Those kinds of things.
Yeah, I think he will. I don't think Nick Saban's not done with.
He'll scream at anybody and nobody in particular. Yeah.
I would not have wanted to coach that guy.
It is what it is. I'm just excited that college football is back. It's going to be fun to watch this year. I think there are going to be some teams that will make Monday morning conversations interesting. And then I think there's going to be some teams that drop rather fast. I'm just looking at the list. I am not sold on Michigan by no means.
No.
They do not play well in big games. They'll sneak up on you in games that you might think that they might not win, but you put a good opponent in front of them, they're just not there. And
Georgia needs to be really worried about Michigan, because Michigan every day in practice they have a session, one of the sessions in practice where they have a beat Georgia session.
Well, they can have all the beat Georgia sessions.
And so that's the sloppiest session that Michigan has all day.
Hey, listen, Georgia used to have that against. They had a play Georgia Tech session every week too. So maybe work out for them.
It's going to be interesting. We look forward to talking to you every Saturday morning, John. I know you're going to be on the road quite a bit. Still got soccer going on, and going to be traveling with the missus some, I'm pretty sure.
Later in the year, once the regular season and the playoffs for soccer are completed, then that's when the Saturday mornings will be in the automobile, traveling at a high rate of speed to the plane.
Yeah, but when you get there, that's the most beautiful place on the face of this earth.
Yeah, the boss tells me that.
No, it is. I can go ahead and tell you that. I agree with the
These
boss.
new microphones are going to get something all over in a minute.
But we appreciate you being with us, John. We got a break.
XL Sports Network.
Thank you, John.
Take care, buddy.
Yeah, Bruce, I'm telling you, man, it's going to be an exciting year, both high school and college. We're looking forward to it. Final thoughts?
Yeah, we can't get off there without reminding everyone that we're here each week throughout the course of the season. Steakhouse Saturday Morning Quarterback Show live from Dave Venable Studios in Hawkinsville, part of the XL Sports Network, 9 to 12, fast 3 hours in radio. And, of course, also right here on our station, The River, next Saturday at 4 o'clock, Red Devils on the road at Rutland. We'll be there with a 3:30 pregame kickoff. 4 o'clock.
That is key, folks. We will be on Saturday at 4, not Friday night football, but Saturday night football.
Eddie, and I wanted to pass along too. We had decent numbers last night for the ball game on the road at Portal. Folks, take advantage of this situation. A lot of communities do not have a broadcast. We've got it. We've had one since '93 on a regular basis. If you want my number, I'll put it out there. I put the link in the paper every week. Get it, and you can listen to the game every week. You've been listening to the Steakhouse Restaurant Saturday Morning Quarterback Show on the XL Sports Network.